What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people, and I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now, and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of After Hours. After Hours, the Millionaire Morning Show. Look at me. I'm so caught up in After Hours because I streamed so much last night. Thank y'all for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What's happening? Tabby says, I couldn't believe the men in red dresses. Me either. Me either. What's going on, y'all? How y'all feel? You said you just got done watching Fresh and Fit this morning. ADU Cook, much respect for you apologizing also. Yeah, you gotta be a bigger person. Corey Holcomb shouted you out last night. He wants you to come on. All right, bet. But if I go on Corey Holcomb, here's the deal. Here's the deal. If I go on Corey Holcomb, I have to go on in person. I want to pull up in person. I don't want to do no live streams. You know what I'm saying? Like I think the live streams is cool for like Fox News and stuff like that. Um but I think that when you start to have conversations, people need to feel your energy. You know, shout out to 5150. People need to feel your energy. I don't know where they located at. Where do Corey Holcomb shoot out of? Where does Corey do y'all know where Corey do y'all know where Corey Holcomb shoot out of? He shoot out of LA. Well, if he out in LA, that's right down my alley. You know, I love California. I love California. So, you know, it ain't no thing but to hop right over to Los Angeles. So we'll shoot over there if we can make it work as far as scheduling and everything like that. But I like Corey Holcomb. I think Corey Holcomb is dope. Shout out to Corey Holcomb. He be cooking. He definitely cooked. So what's going on, y'all? How do y'all feel? Did y'all enjoy After Hours last night? Oh, there's my girl. There's my girl. That's my girl. All right, so we in the building now. Okay, so we officially here. I see y'all. I see y'all. So y'all pulling up. Okay. All right. Now we here. Now we here. What's happening? Yeah, now we can cook. Now we can cook. See, I was waiting on that. I was waiting on that. I was waiting on that. Yeah. What's happening? What's up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Y'all in here? You've been cooking the last couple weeks. I've been cooking my whole life. I ain't even gonna cap with you. Like for the people that's just now discovering me, congratulations. Welcome to the show. For the people that's just now discovering me, congratulations. There's my Molly. I see her in there. For the people that's just now discovering me, congratulations. We here, we here, we here. What up, AD? How do you feel, big dog? I feel real Miami-ish. I'm looking at the city skyline. I can see the water just past the building. I'm over here in Brickell, chilling. I'm gonna be we doing part two. Part two tonight, fresh and fit, both segments. I'm gonna be on because it's Wednesday. And Wednesday I don't have to live stream at night. So we just got the night we gonna be cooking. So this is what we got to do. This is what we gonna do. All right. Tonight, fresh and fit. We gonna do both the regular show, the men's show, and then we gonna do after hours with the ladies right after that. I just talked to Myron and Fresh, and so we cooking up tonight on Fresh and Fit. I'm back there tonight. All right. So we got that, and then we right back in the studio tomorrow morning. All right. So right after that, I'm gonna be working all night, and then I'm gonna take a flight first thing in the morning. The first thing smoking out of here tomorrow morning, I'm gonna fly back to Detroit. We gonna do it in the studio, and we back on the Millionaire Morning Millionaire Morning Show in the studio. So tonight we cook up late night on Fresh and Fit. We fly back to Detroit first thing in the morning, and then we having a Millionaire Morning Show. All right, Millionaire Morning Show in the morning. Here's the thing that y'all got to understand before we get into the show. While the people continue to gather in, how is the stream, by the way? Before we get started, are we clear? Is the audio clear? Is the video clear? How's the stream, y'all? Y'all give me some insight. It's smooth. Quality is good. All right, cool. Because we got some videos that's uploading. When you go to other cities and stuff like that, you have to deal with internet slowing, right? And that's one of the reasons why I like going back to my studio back home, is because you got to always shoot a shot, take a chance, got to bring the Starlink with you just in case the internet ain't what it's supposed to be in a hotel. So these hotel internet sometimes it don't be what it need to be. But even though the upload speeds and stuff is slow as far as me getting stuff uploaded, so I got to upload and download overnight while I go to sleep and stuff like that. Even though the upload and download speeds ain't what it need to be, the clarity on the streams is all we need. We'll figure the rest of it out. The clarity on the stream is what it need to be, so we'll figure all of that out. Y'all can hear all of the exotic cars down here in Miami, hopefully, probably. I don't know. But we here. So we got a lot to cover today. We got six different things that we want to cover. Let me give y'all the preview now that we got over 1,000 people in here, okay? So the first thing that we're going to cover, I heard it was a armored truck robbery over in Philadelphia, somewhere in Pennsylvania. We're going to get into that. Right after that, we jump right into Umar Johnson. Y'all sent me the video of Umar Johnson and him talking about him losing the school. So we're going to break that down. We're going to break down Umar Johnson. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get into that. And then after we get into Umar Johnson, we're going to go over to D.C. because apparently the D.C. mayor switched up her tone and said she's ready to rock with Trump now. Get my vitamins popping. Got to get your vitamins popping. And then we're going to go over to Chicago because Brandon Johnson crashed out talking about Trump. And then we're going to get into the money right after that. So apparently scammers are stealing y'all money by using y'all luggage tags. I want to warn y'all about that and give y'all some insight. And then Perplexity. Perplexity is an AI company that has a valuation of, I think, under $20 billion or $16 billion or something like that. But they made an offer, an unsolicited offer of a little bit under $40 billion in order to buy Google Chrome from Alphabet, which is the parent company of Google. All right. So we got to cover everything. We covering politics, we covering local news, we covering Black culture via Umar Johnson. We covering AI, we covering things you need to be afraid of and warned about when you're going through the airport. So we got a full show for y'all today. So make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Tiege Hanley, thank you, Tiege, for continuing to sponsor. Man, Tiege Hanley been rocking with us for years at this point. Shout out to Tiege Hanley coming up on 2 years for holding us down. We listen. End of the year. I'm not even gonna lie. Let me get my vitamin on real quick because I gotta get my vitamins on. So I'm not even gonna cap, y'all. Listen, Tiege has been a great partner, a very strong, very profitable strategic partner. Tiege has been such a good partner to us that we gave him exclusivity when it comes to all of my platforms, this platform, Anton Daniels, and After Hours. And they've benefited significantly from the growth that we've had over here and on all other platforms. And the reason that they've benefited is because they made a strong capital commitment and investment over the last year and a half or so. And so they benefited off of the explosion and the growth that came along with the platform. We love you, Teach, for holding us down. But the end of the year, based off of how we trending and how things are going, we got to renegotiate, and that deal is up. So I don't know what's gonna happen. It's been a great run, and Tej is a phenomenal partner, but you know, we back chasers over here. We bag chasers over here. So we gonna have to make some adjustments because the numbers is different than when they first were when we negotiated previously. You know what I'm saying? So again, shout out to Tiege Hanley. We love you. We appreciate you. We may even have an automotive sponsor. I don't know. I can't tell. You know, everybody is having different conversations, and so we got to figure it out, Joe. We gotta figure out how to play that game a little differently. Thank you, Teach. 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I might even do a live stream because we got Stock Club coming up in the Patreon, so make sure y'all join the Patreon. I might even do a live stream to show y'all and give y'all an example of how it is that I strategically structure my brand deals and my negotiations and stuff like that. So we'll talk about it. I want to give a shout out to my dog, Mike, that dude. Shout out to Mike, that dude on Cash. Mike, that dude, bro, you are the GOAT, man. I ain't even gonna cap, bro. You the GOAT. You the GOAT. Spencer Campbell, you like 1B. We got 1A and 1B because Mike, that dude, has been supporting consistently for years. Spencer Campbell been holding it down. Jamaica H says, I just want to thank you. Got love for you, AD. Thank you, Jamaica H. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that support me on the platform. Unlike Umar Johnson, because we gotta bring him to the front of the congregation today. Unlike Umar Johnson, whether it's a Cash App, a Super Chat, PayPal, a meetup, whatever, I don't ask for anything. I'm not asking y'all. I'm not requiring. I'm not saying you got to hit it before we start the show or we got to get to a certain number. And respect to anybody that do that because all of us got our strategic ways in which we move on as content creators. But you guys, y'all don't owe me nothing. And so the only thing that I'm thankful for is the fact that y'all here, excuse me, the fact that y'all here. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you for holding me down. Thank you for being a part of the platform. Thank you for always supporting, even if you hear and you just hit the like button or you just observing. It is all very much appreciated. If you share a video, I'm cool with that too. This is extra. Cash apps, all of that stuff, that's extra. You know what I'm saying? So I don't take it for granted. From the very beginning, I've always highlighted, I don't care if it's $1. I don't care if it's on After Hours and the Q show. Sometimes we'll have 200 super chats to go through. We're going to go through every last one of them, and we're going to acknowledge every single person from when I had 10,000 subscribers to whatever it is that we got going on all the different platforms. I am going to always show appreciation, and hopefully I give y'all a little bit of entertainment to help y'all get through y'all day while at the same time putting the medicine in the candy, and we're going to learn something along with it. Let me read a couple of the super chats, and then we're going to go ahead and rock out. All right? I do, and I really do appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. Malik Quelly says, yeah, you cooked big dog, but it was a lost cause. They got free game, no charge, but refuse it. And that's on everybody else. The game is the game. And so whoever decides, if you change one life, that's all that matters. So it may be the audience that heard it, or a woman that was watching in the audience on live stream that heard it. Carrington Love Jr. says the title screams derailments. I don't know what's gonna happen. Totally about none says 80. I'm stuck. I need to talk to you. I will email you. Okay. All right, that's a bet. Wesley Turner says, when do you go to Tim Pool's show, AD? I'm not scheduled to go on Tim Pool's show at the moment. But I know that Myron has got a recorded video or something like that he got coming out with Tim Pool. That's what he announced. Chad for Morris says, just seen the first show of Fresh and Fit. I like, but I thought Fresh and Fit After Hours was more topic based, felt long intro. Well, you ain't watched the After Hour show before. Chris Cunningham says, race the certification on Oracle for free until October. Great announcement. Make sure y'all join the Discord. Link to the Discord is in the recent is in the most recent video inside of the Patreon. The link is to the Discord. All right. Fudge. Yo, let me ask. Hold on. Your car. Let me ask you a question, your car, because I know your car is watching this right now. Do you think that we need to open up the Discord to the people, like to the general audience, or should we just keep it 100% circular to the Patreon members? Because the only thing is I just don't want it to get derailed. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no stupid junk or anything like that. Do you think that we should open up your car? Do you think that we should open up the Discord? Moses King says no. Just a Brown Girl in America says no. Demetrius Shaw says no. Black Silver says nah. That's private. No. All right. The people have spoken. Bag chasers only. All right. Only chasers, no dusties. Never mind your car. We're not opening up the Discord to the people. If you are a Patreon member and you are a bag chaser, the link to the Discord is in the description of the most recent video inside of the Patreon. So that's that. People definitively, they said absolutely not. And I'm going to say, no, I have. The people have spoken. All right. So thank you, my friends. I do take y'all insight, and that's the way that it is. No dusties inside of the bag chasers. All right. Fudge 357 says, what up, Anton? What up, though, big dog? I appreciate you. Melvin Johnson says, corporate answered my question in depth and ended with that was a great one. Mission accomplished. I'm definitely on the Reddit. Shout out to Melvin Johnson. I gave him some insight on what he should say and ask his question yesterday. Shout out to you and congratulations. Craig G says, good morning, bag chasers. Peace and Pan-Africanism. I can't wait to get to the Umar Johnson segment. So let's go ahead and get this show popping. Username Delta says, you the GOAT, big homie. We're the GOAT. We're the GOAT. Together. Without y'all, it ain't no me. Carrington Love Jr. says, I swear Panama water is the best beverage on the market. Or Pana water. This is, I love this. I do. You know who put me up on this? Yaki Awakening. Yaki Awakening. I think that's what his name is. Ever since, these are the only cases that come to my house and my studio. I bought 10 bottles as soon as I land in Miami every time. Donna says, 80, I have 5K in savings. Can you share which stocks and how many I should invest in? I don't really want to say that on a live stream. You got to jump into the stock club on Patreon. I don't want to say that in a live stream. Here, listen, I'll tell you this. Before you start to deep dive into any individual stocks, you need to understand what we look for in order to invest in them. All right. That's the first thing. But the second thing is, if you're just trying to put it into a safe space, while you're still learning, while you're still understanding, and while you're joining the stock club and all of that, just go into SPY. All right. SPY follows, just put it in SPY. SPY is a very safe investment space temporarily until you can better understand exactly. It follows the S&P 500. So that's a very good place to place your money until you want to invest in individual stocks. And you don't have to invest in a whole lot of stocks. Chad from Moore says, where can I get a bag chaser hat? I asked in the Discord. I'm a Patreon member. Your car, we gave them out for free. We gave them out for free at the last meetup. So one of the bag chasers made them, and we gave them out for free, and then I wore it on Fresh and Fit. So Maybe we'll drop a link inside of the Patreon for people to be able to buy hats. All right. Shout out to everybody that's supporting the platform. Y'all ready to get started with the show? Everything, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Everything I do, my wife and I love learning from your content. Shout out to DJ Lang in the building. I appreciate you. Tell the family I said what up. AD, do you see all of the top financial YouTubers beefing? I do. But if you noticed, Anton is not amongst the people in that group. I'm chilling. I don't have no beef with anybody. The only two people in those spaces that I know that I've spoken to is Aristotle, and I linked up with him in person. Solid young bull, very dope, very humble, very matter of fact about his money, about his business. I love Aristotle personally. And I've spoken with Ian Dunlap before, and we send messages back and forth to each other all the time. And he check on me, hey fam, you good? And then I check on him and make sure he's good. Other than that, I don't know nothing about none of that. I don't have nothing to say about it. That sounds personal. Sounds like they got some personal things to go over there. I know everybody is getting money though. Everybody getting money. So, I don't have an opinion on who's saying what about who, but what I will say is, I hope everybody can focus on getting to the money. That's it. I want everybody to get to the money. It's too much ground to cover, and I don't think that any of us is big enough yet for us to have this kind of dialogue. So people need to solve for their issues. This is my personal opinion. I think that people should try to figure out how to solve for the issues, and let's get to the money. Let's get to the money. I've seen people saying stuff about me online over the last couple days, like they not happy about me going on Fresh and Fit, stuff like that. I don't know that. I don't see them. I don't see them. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't acknowledge that because I got too many other things that I'm trying to accomplish. The numbers is too big. The goals is too big. The thing that you're trying to get to is too large. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm too much of an OG. I've been in the game for too long to be sitting there wasting my time on people that's looking to clout chase. You know what I'm saying? So it's too much to get. What are we at? Oh, snaps. We crossed a milestone. We crossed the milestone. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the milestones that we crossing. We crossed the milestone on Anton Daniels. We planning for the million subscribers. View. We rocking 100 and what? 102,000 subscribers over the last 28 days. I don't have no time to be focused on what everybody else is talking about. I'm appreciative of the promotions that people give to me. I'm appreciative of the visibility. I love it when people react positive or negative because it results in this type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So we just passed 800,000 a couple days ago. We had 808. We jumping 102,000 subscribers every 28 days. We running. We sprinting at this point. We Usain Bolton to this. And so I don't give a fuck about nothing. I don't care about what other people doing. I don't see nobody. I only make friends and I go and I connect with people and hopefully I can add value. I don't care. Listen, the more that everybody else, here's my thing. The more that everybody else bicker and fight, the more I'm gonna be like, all right, y'all fighting over there, and then me come and steal some crumbs over here. I'm crumb stealing. I'm crumb snatching. As long as everybody else is being distracted, then I can come and take all. Because see, that's what they do when it comes to social media. That's when it comes to popular culture. That's how the rich people get all of the land. That's how they get the opportunities, is because they give you all a distraction. This is what happens in life. They give people a distraction. They say, oh man, they protesting over there. Cop fought somebody, or Cincinnati brawl, or Alabama brawl, and everybody be like, "Oh my God, I'm so angry." And they'd be like, "Let me go ahead and steal some of this and take some of that." And while everybody is focused on this, we're gonna go ahead and run it up over there. And this is the investment play. And they doing like this, but they got the other hand back here taking all of the money. You know what I'm saying? So somebody said, "Did you see the Florida brawl?" I didn't. I didn't. Honestly, I didn't. And so while everybody else is focused on everybody else, I'm gonna be 100% focused on. I'm quietly tiptoeing to my goals. Quietly tiptoeing to my goals. I'm not worried about it. I ain't focused on what everybody else focused on. So I'm in a whole nother space. So bag chasers is focused. We laser focused. Anton, you shouldn't collaborate with Fresh and Fit. No, you shouldn't collaborate with Fresh and Fit. I see value. Hey guys, what's going on? Y'all, let's be friends. Let's have a good time. Hey man, Anton, you shouldn't connect with women. Fuck these hoes. What's up, ladies? Ladies, y'all want to go out to dinner? Y'all want to go have a good time? Oh, you know what? I heard that you're a phenomenal project manager. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? You know this person, you know that person? Come here, girl. Come give me a hug. Anton, I want to introduce you to this. Okay, all right. What's going on? Hey, what's happening? I don't care nothing about what nobody else is talking about. I'm laser. Y'all better stay focused. Bag chasers, we up. Patreon members, we up. We gonna run it up. Run for office with you. Run for office with me, Anton for mayor. Where we running for office at? I'll be in Detroit. Where we running for office at? Tell me where we running for office and I'll run it. All right, y'all. All right, let me read a couple of more super chats and then we'll go ahead and get started. We over 2,000 people in here. Let's focus. Let's focus. Rage King Leo says, I don't know what or where to start business. I should start. I know the trades I'm going into. They can be business starters. Where can I get a coaching call? I'm a bag chaser. Just need to learn how to type. You better use AI to clean that junk up. No, I mean, listen, your business should be started around whatever it is that you do great. So if you are into the trades, then your business should be around whatever it is that you do from a trade perspective. That's it. Everybody don't have to get into e-commerce or all of this stuff. Your business should be the business that pays you. Whatever it is, you extend off of that. Only reason that I got into software engineering is because I was trying to make e-commerce sites and make sites that's actually better than the ones that I was using that I thought that needed some changes, right? Rage King Leo says, need a coaching call, but I have to drive to work for myself. Good morning, AD. Good morning. If y'all need coaching calls, just send me an email. I'm going to start coaching calls probably back in September. Reality Military TV says, hey, Anton, do you think a person should pay off their mortgage before investing in a brokerage account? No. I think that you should do both. You should set a set amount of what you're going to pay in principal additional every single month. But I think you should also be dollar cost averaging, right? I think you should be putting up at least 20 to 25% of everything you make into your investments, 100%. But paying off the debt is also a great thing. Corey Holcomb, spoken name, and likes what you do and wants to do something in the future. Love to see like-minded individuals collaborate. Yeah, I'm gonna shoot out to LA and see what's happening with Corey. DeJuan Blair says, did you see Corey Holcomb trying to leak up? I haven't seen it yet. I streamed for like 6 hours last night with the crew. And so as soon as I woke up, brushed my teeth and started getting back to this, and then I'm gonna watch it after the live stream is over. Nichelle says, hey, D, in the next block club, can you discuss how you vet a land purchase? Yep, I sure can. But you got to remind me. Tell your car, can you write that down and make sure you send me a text message? Freedom Land says, AD, you did a powerful job on Fresh and Fit. Explain your Patreon. What can we look forward to? I don't look to sell the Patreon. The Patreon it's a community, right? It's my closest people, my closest friends, my family. So the Patreon is a space where we share information and knowledge, right?
because it's not just me. Even though I'm the head bag chaser, I'm the leader of the group, so to speak, de facto, right? It's more or less about us making sure that we all add value to each other. So I create the networking events, even though they meetups and it's like, yo, I'm coming to this city. Let's connect. Let's meet up. It's really so I can connect everybody with everybody so that we can all make sure that we utilizing each other's skill sets and that we run up a bag. So we do meetups. The next meetup is going to probably be in November. I'm thinking it's going to be on the West Coast, somewhere around Los Angeles, a central location where most people can get to. And that'll be probably like a celebration of the million mark. We're going to give it a theme, something like that. We talk about stocks, and I explain the 8 things that I look for when I'm looking to invest in a company. And then we go read charts, and I show people the profit margins and the debt to equity ratio and all of that stuff. We talk about real estate based off of my learned experiences because I'm building houses and I own a lot of real estate. We talk about AI, anything related to the money and anything to add value, masterminding sessions, taking strategy on how you can be more effective when it comes to content creation. So it's really it's a mindset, but it's also a community. And then we talk about and we live stream about the things that we think is meaningful, and hopefully I can add value into people's lives. So that's the Patreon in a nutshell. Corey Holcomb showed you love, says Seifel. Shout out to Corey. Jason AT says, 80, I'm officially a bag chaser. Shout out to the new chasers. Had to get my money straight, but been watching you for years. Appreciate what you do, and for all of us making our lives better, and much respect. And I will also tell y'all that since I started my Patreon, I've never raised the prices. I've never raised the prices. There's always been a barrier to entry, but it's to weed out the dusties. Just join the Patreon, AD. Shout out to Jay the Transporter. I appreciate you, bro. Shout out to all of the bag chasers. All right. I will be here. I might as well announce it. I will be I'm in Miami today. I'll go back to Detroit tomorrow, which is Thursday. I'll be in Detroit tomorrow. And then Friday, I will be in Vegas. All right. So shout out to my Vegas people. Got some business to take care of over in Vegas. I will be in Vegas Friday until I can't tell you how long I'm going to be there, but I'm going to be in Vegas. All right. Then I got to come back to Detroit because we got an auction that we got to go to because there's some land that we got to purchase. And then we're going to go from there. All right. But we got a Patreon live stream this weekend. So make sure y'all tap into the Patreon link is in the description. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get started with the show. So first things that I want to get into, and I only want to spend 10 minutes on this in particular. All right. I only want to spend 10 minutes on this in particular is a heist. Let me get my screen right. A heist, an armored truck heist over in Philadelphia. Five Brown. Y'all been having a lot of armored truck heists over there. This is getting worse in Boston. Right? This is getting worse in Boston. I watched The Town with Ben Affleck. I've watched it. And I don't know what the other guy's name is, but the Hulk, the Arrow guy on the Marvel. I watched The Town. And they were supposed to be the place where it has the most robberies per capita. But Philly has been on a tear lately, and I don't know what is going on in Philadelphia. Black Hawk. Shout out to Black Hawk. I watched it with Ben Affleck and Black Hawk. Shout out to my dog, your car. Jeremy Renner. He had like a big accident where he was trying to recover from. Hawkeye. Not Black Hawk, Hawkeye. But yeah, what's going on in Philadelphia? They saying that it's a lot of armored truck heists over in Philadelphia, and I don't know what's going on over there.
With that breaking news in Cheltenham, where police are on the scene of an armored car heist. This happened just a few hours ago near the intersection of Old York Road and Cheltenham Avenue. The suspects reportedly made off with more than $500,000. Action News reporter Walter Perez is live at the scene with new information on what we know right now, Walter.
$500,000, huh?
That's right, Alicia. The Brinks truck involved has just been removed by investigators, and those investigators believe that this armored car heist might be linked to other previous armored car heists across the region over the past several weeks and months. Joining me live right now is Lieutenant Andy Snyder from the Cheltenham Police Department. And Lieutenant, what can you tell me about what happened here at 10:30 this morning?
So about 10:30 this morning, we received a 911 call about a robbery that just occurred of an armored car that had just made a delivery here at the H Mart at Cheltenham Avenue and Old York Road in the Elkins Park section of Cheltenham. The delivery driver, armored car driver, stated that she had exited the vehicle, was approached by two men. One was armed with an AK-style rifle, the other with a handgun. They ordered her to turn over her weapon and then took about between $700,000 to $800,000 in cash from the armored car.
All right, now, here's my first question. Because I believe that every situation where you see this happens, almost 100% of the time, let's just say 90% of the time, I'm gonna read super chat shortly. Let's just say 90% of the time, I believe that almost all of these things have to have some form of an inside job. You got to know how much money they're gonna be holding. You got to know what you're looking for. You got to know that it's a little frail woman that got on the vest that's walking around acting like she a part of what. This is why I believe in patriarchy. This is why I believe in traditional gender roles, because equal will never be equal, because there's certain jobs that y'all just shouldn't be a part of. And so you can call me chauvinistic, but I look at it as a form of protection. What is a big head woman doing at an armored truck job, getting her head smacked in and getting her and giving up $700,000 to $800,000? What is a big head woman doing as a security armored car employee? I don't believe that women should be armored truck people. I just don't. I can't. All right, look at it from this lens. Would you send your wife or your daughter or your mother out there to be an armored truck guard? Would you? Would you send your mother, your wife, your daughter to be an armored truck guard? Now, I know that y'all think y'all tough, and you think because I'm stiff neck and I used to play basketball with the boys and I was a tomboy when I was younger. Yeah, that's nice. That's what they said. You said, was it a woman? That's what he just said. Listen, let me rewind a little bit.
The delivery driver, armored car driver, stated that she had exited the vehicle.
That she exited the vehicle. The delivery armored truck driver stated that she exited the vehicle.
An armored car that had just made a delivery here at the H Mart at Cheltenham Avenue and Old York Road in the Elkins Park section of Cheltenham. The delivery driver, armored car driver, stated that she had exited the vehicle, was approached by two men. One was armed with an AK-style rifle, the other with a handgun. They ordered her to turn over her weapon and then took about between $700,000 to $800,000 in cash from the armored car. That vehicle then fled westbound on Cheltenham Avenue into Philadelphia.
And there's reason to believe, as I mentioned, that this might be linked to other similar robberies.
Yeah, we've had other robberies in the area over the last couple of months, and the MO matches of the other similar robberies that we're investigating.
So the same people that I've been reporting on that was doing the other armored truck robberies is doing this one. Well, eventually they'll get caught. That's it. They'll get caught because they're greedy. Because they done did it more than one time, more than two times, more. It matches the MO, same people. Now they're going to set you up. I want them to get caught, so I'm not tripping about it. But if they were smart, this would be the end of the road. You know what? We won. We didn't get caught. Nobody tripping. Lay low for the next 2 to 3 years, knowing that you got money put up. We done already robbed for some M's. And so we just going to slowly but surely go to the casino, do a little bit of hand washing, and we keep it moving. Maybe I even move to a different city, different state, different country. I'm gone. The goal was to figure out what we was going to do before we decided to do this in the first place. I'm gone. It's nothing else for us to talk about. If you smart, if you're watching the Millionaire Morning Show, armored car robbery people, then it's time to stop. You know what? We won. We got our money. Everything went good. We got away with it more than one time. We pushed our luck, and now it's time to go ahead and stop. Because now they probably bringing in the FBI. They bringing in all of the forensics experts. They going extra ham because you can't keep embarrassing the city. You're not going to embarrass in Philadelphia. The people not feeling safe anymore. The businesses is not feeling safe anymore. So now it's time to go. Throw it in some Bitcoin, get you a wallet, a crypto wallet, get you a few coins, and keep it moving. It's time to go to a country that go chill out with Russell Simmons over there in Indonesia and Bali where they don't extradite, and you keep it moving. You keep it moving. You don't keep going. But I guarantee you, listen, I guarantee you, within the next month, we will be doing a live stream, and I'm going to be bringing to the front of the congregation the people that decided that they wanted to keep on going. They just had to see it through.
And it's possibly being tied to those incidents as well.
Do we have a description of the vehicle involved, and was there any video?
Yeah, so we're looking for a black Acura TLX, 4-door with tinted windows, and we are still obtaining video from both the armored car itself as well as from the shopping center here of the suspects as well as the vehicle.
Anybody injured?
There were no injuries. Fortunately, there were no shots fired. Nobody was injured, and the best possible outcome for everybody. As you can imagine, a scenario like this is very, very dangerous when there's firearms involved. Could be, somebody in the area that doesn't see what's going on gets involved in a gunfight. So we're definitely concerned this could escalate to somebody getting seriously injured or even worse, murdered.
And this is a concern because these guys are heavily armed, and it seems like they're gaining confidence. Correct?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, now this is 4 or 5 incidents we've had. A AK style rifle is definitely not something that you'd want to mess with. So the stakes are very high for everybody.
All right, Lieutenant, thank you so much.
So they already going to the news. They're probably going to put out a report in order to say, hey, if you've seen these people, then this is what you need to look for. And so now it's going to start to get sticky. If you start showing any money, you go out to the Escalade dealership, you got to go get you a Maybach, all of that type of stuff. Then that's when it's going to start to become problematic. And usually that's how people get caught. All you got to do is catch one person, or somebody get pissed off, or you tell one person, you tell your baby mama, she get pissed off at you. She going to call the FBI and say, hey, did y'all have a bounty out because he ain't paying child support anyway? And I want to be able to report this guy because he pissed me off. And so now, because somebody going to pillow talk. So somebody's going to pillow talk. Hey, I want to know everything about you. You just got done having a love-making session. You feel like she understands you. Y'all connected on a soul level. Can I tell you something? I ain't never told nobody this. I'm a lot more mysterious than I let on. Yeah. I'm a lot more mysterious than I let on. Because I would only tell this to the person that's closest to me, and you the person that's closest to me. I feel like we connected on a deeper level. I feel like we connected on a deeper level. I don't have nobody to vent to. I got to hold it all in. I just make it tight within myself. I don't have nobody to tell. What's wrong, baby? Oh, what's wrong? I ain't never seen you like this. I ain't never seen you cry like this. What's going on? I initially did this because I had to pay for my mother's cancer treatment. But my homeboy, he just can't stop. He just can't stop. And I feel trapped. I feel trapped. Oh, come here. Come here. Come here. Give me a second, Joe. I don't care about this stuff. This watch, these cars. I don't care about none of this, I just wish Jeremy would stop. I just wish he would stop. But I'm looking to get out the game, and I want to take you with me. I'll go anywhere with you. I'll go anywhere. I'll follow you off the cliff. I want to go back to Africa. Help the people in Africa. Maybe go to Haiti, maybe go to Nigeria. Live off the land. Do it like Khalees, I'm with you, baby. I'm with you, baby. I just got one more job. I got to do one more job. And once I do one more job, we out the game for good. And you're going to get into an argument with her. Who was that hoe that you was talking to the other day? I seen you liking somebody else's Instagram. Girl, I ain't like nobody's Instagram. I ain't talking to nobody but you. Excuse me. What is the bounty? They got one more job, and then they saying that we going to go to Africa. And that's it. And that's it. And you gone. You out of there, big dog. You out of there. Firebox will have you self-snitching. Firebox going. That's what's happening because they don't know who it is yet.
Right now at 4, we have new video of an armored car heist in Montgomery County. You can see two armed men targeting the driver in this busy store parking lot. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm Tracy Davidson.
And I'm Jacqueline London. It happened this morning as a Brinks security driver was walking into a bank inside the grocery store in Elkins Park. Authorities say those armed men got away with $700,000. Now police are hoping you can help track them down. NBC 10's Deanna Durante is live in Elkins Park with the breaking details. Deanna.
Well, that truck pulled up right here to the front entrance. You can see where those orange cones
but in
are.
order to make the movie more realistic, she got to be caught between, because you got to give multiple different storylines. So she got to be caught a tale between two worlds. So he the bank robber, and then in the middle of him being the bank robber, after he right before he pull off his last job, she gonna meet the man. She gonna meet a upstanding gentleman. Hey, what's going on? But it's gonna be because she got a flat tire, and she couldn't get in touch with the other guy that was pouring his heart out to her, telling her that he was a bank robber. Hey, I'm sorry, miss. Do you need any help? No, I don't need no help. I'm good. I'm sorry, I do need help. Well, you know what? Let me get that tire for you real quick. He's going to have on a white shirt with the sleeves, with the collars. He's just going to get off of work. He's going to roll up his sleeves. He's going to change the tire. Listen, here's my card. So if you ever need anything, or, if you have any problems, matter of fact, I'm going to call my personal tow truck driver. He's going to have a personal tow truck driver. I'm going to call my personal buddy. He owes me a favor. He's going to tow the car for free because it looks like you broke an axle. All right? Be careful. Hey, and then she's going to get lonely at night. Hey, I tried to call your tow truck driver, and he towed my car, but I just wanted to follow up and say thank you. He's going to be sitting in his house, no shirt on. Anytime. Hey, before you get off the phone, would you like to catch dinner with me? So then they're going to go to dinner while the other man is doing a final heist. They're going to go to dinner. Let me stop. Anyways, let's continue on.
That truck was pulled up there. The female driver got out. She walked into the doors there, right where you see customers going in. And seconds later, there were two armed men right on her tail. It doesn't take long. Watch. It happened just before 10:30 this morning. The Brinks driver is walking into this mall, and right behind her, two armed men.
They ordered her to relinquish her firearm and then proceeded to take between $700,000 and $800,000 in cash from the armored car.
The men are then seen running away with a bag of cash. Less than 9 miles away, that car was found dumped in Fairmount Park. The men may be masked, but take a look at the clothing, the shoes they're wearing, the hoodies, and any logos on them. This is the 5th armored car robbery in the region in the last several months.
This is 5th. They didn't hit 5. 5? Oh, these niggas have made a career out of this. They living off this money. That they going to get caught. And it's going to play out exactly the way. Yeah, we just got to do one more. We got to hit a 6th. Going to be at dinner, but you got to take her to a steakhouse. So you got to have her at Ocean Prime. You got to sit like Obama. So what do you do for a living? Me and my kid, we kind of in between jobs right now. I know the story.
Our first armored car robberies happened in Cheltenham. However, we are investigating the possibility that these are possibly related to the ones that have occurred in Philadelphia.
Take another look at the men from this morning's robbery. Police say one suspect is holding an AR-style rifle. The second, a handgun.
Oh, that's a black guy. Look at how he holding the gun. I don't know if that's a black guy or a white guy. The way that they was running, it looked like a black guy. I don't know if he just light skinned or what.
In other robberies, an AR-style weapon was used. And you can see in the video from this morning, customers are not far from the robbery, some even pausing as it's occurring. Police say witnesses are key, not just in reporting crimes after they happen, but keeping an eye out.
The public is our best eyes with situations like this. If there's ever an incident you observe, be the best witness possible. Try not to intervene. If you see something suspicious, call the police. We'll come check it out.
And police are hoping that someone will call them and check out the two men that maybe match the description of what you see on your screen now. Take a look at the clothing. Someone knows who left for the day wearing those sweatpants, those gray sneakers, and other items that those men are wearing, or maybe know who has weapons like those in their possession. Those are the kind of people police want to hear from tonight. Reporting live in Cheltenham Township, Deanna.
They should be straight. They should just go ahead and wrap it up. But I'll be talking to you guys next month. I will be talking to you guys next month about what this has transpired into. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. We'll finish this movie tomorrow. All right. Whiskey Pierre says, Anton, sir, following your lead, like on Patreon, cooking these videos and lives, just like you said on Patreon, got a 53% and members increase. Thanks. You're welcome. Shout out to everybody that takes the information that I give from, even on the content creation stuff on Patreon. It's so much value. I should raise the prices, honestly. Like, I should just go in there right now and raise the prices. Let me see something. Might have too many Patreon members. How to weed some people out. 18,395 members. Might have to weed some people out. I have to weed some people out. I don't know. Only way you can weed some people out is that you got to make the barrier to entry a little higher. I don't know. I'll think about it. Shout out to Whiskey Pierre and everybody that's locked in at the price that they locked in at. Sometimes you might have to get the bag higher than what it is because the people ain't gonna appreciate it. You know, I know the bag chasers as they're appreciated, but you know, sometimes people don't feel like they're getting enough value unless you're charging $2,000 on them. You know what I'm saying? If you charge them $2,000 and they got to get in because they know it because it's expensive, it costs a lot of money. You know, you got to figure that out. We're going to figure that out. But shout out to you. Congratulations. Anything is everywhere. Anything is everything says just join the Patreon. I want the $49. See, you don't appreciate the 15. You don't appreciate the 15. Welcome to the Patreon. Yannick says your research and skills are amazing. Can you do an exclusive showing how you filter out noise and what's factual for the Patreon? Yep, I sure can. Jason 18 says, AD around Philly, if you come past the county border and go into the suburbs, you probably added 10 years. See a sentence easily. Suburbs don't play. 392Q says, what Cleo sound set it off? Almost a mother effing money. Carrington Love Jr. says, yeah, they got away with multiple well-executed robberies. All you need is crypto and a foreign LLC and a bank account to start your new career in American real estate development. Sarge says, AD, just checking in. Appreciate you. Shout out to Sarge. Shout out to everybody that support the platform. I appreciate y'all. And thank y'all for holding me down. Quarter Boy says, one of my classmates is doing fair time now behind hidden check cashing spots. He was up $500,000, but ended up getting caught on his last run. They always get caught on their last run. But here's the key. The last run wasn't even the last run. It was the last run that they thought that they was going to do before they was going to do another last run. The last run is never the last run. It's just the truth. Let's get into my favorite content creator on the internet. Nope. It's not Patrick Bet David. Nope. It's not Dave Ramsey. Nope. It's not Carmelo Anthony. Nope. It's not 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. Nope. It's not Jeff Teague and them podcasts. It ain't Shannon Sharp. It ain't Joe Budden. It ain't Aiden Ross. It ain't DDG. It ain't none of that. My favorite content creator personally, is Peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism. none other than the captain of them all, Dr. Ifatunde. Black queens forever, snow bunnies never. I'm gonna say it again. Where my Philly Africans at? Where my Mississippi Africans at? Where's my Nigerian Africans? Where are my Brazilian Africans? My Mount Caucasus Africans? You know we was the first person on planet Earth, right? You know, according to the Egyptian tombs over in Africa, Mount Sinai, we were the first on Earth. So I don't care what they tell you. I don't care what they tell you. I'm going to say it again. I want you to understand, overstand, and understand. I don't care what they tell you. Okay? I don't care how many. I'm sorry, sister. We got to stay focused. We got to stay focused. Okay? Because I had a black queen that turned out to be a black fiend take my schlong, and I never ever deep dove into the sea. I never ever deep dove into the sea. I'm going to say it one more time. I never ever deep dove into the sea. She took my schlong and she wanted to please King Ifatunde. And when I decided that I wanted to unlock the key to her treasure, there was no pleasure. When I wanted to unlock the key to her treasure, there was no pleasure. When I wanted to unlock the key to her treasure, there was no pleasure. This is what he does. This is what he does. I personally believe that he is the funniest person on the internet. All right. However, unfortunately, it looks like the walls are closing in on the great doctor. And because the walls are closing in, Umar Johnson can't help himself. One of the things that Umar Johnson likes to do is he likes to talk about and hopefully get ahead of the issue when he don't realize that he's making things exponentially worse. So, King Ifatunde, hit the Cash App, hit the PayPal, Dr. Ifatunde at paypal.me, Dr. Ifatunde FA at paypal.me, and my Venmo, because my bank accounts are locked up at the moment. All right. So, you know, he likes to talk about his personal situations, baby Smurf, all of that. All right. So now we're going to deep dive into it. This is a little long, so we're going to try to get to the point where he starts talking about his bank accounts in the school, because I heard that the school is being auctioned off.
Paperwork off the front door and sent it to a coincidence. 5th of Black August camp at the very moment that our accounts are frozen. Why are they trying to sell our campus at the very moment that our accounts are frozen? Brothers and sisters, is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence that the city of Wilmington is trying to sell properties that we own and have been working on continuously behind our backs? They were going to sell our schools behind our backs. They didn't even tell us that they were going to try to sell our schools. We received no notice in the mail. We received no notice by email. We received no phone calls at all that they were going to try to sell our schools. Instead, they put a notice on the door handle. Somebody stole one set of notifications and sent it to the YouTubian struggle streamers. Somebody stole the Frederick Douglass High School paperwork off the front door and sent it to the struggle streamers. But luckily for us, Sister Ra Ebony was able to get the paperwork off the Marcus Garvey School before the haters stole that paperwork. I believe, brothers and sisters, and please let me know your opinion. I believe, brothers and sisters, and please let me know your opinion. I believe, brothers and sisters, and please let me know your opinion. I believe that they were going to sell the school, and they wanted to sell the school before we found out. I believe that they wanted to sell the school before we found out. We were not supposed to know that they were going to sell our school. Why do I say that? We were given no notification. We received no letter in the mail. We received no email. We received no phone call that they were going to try to sell our schools. Instead, they put a notice on the door. In a low-income neighborhood, they put a notice on the door with rubber band and masking tape. They put a notice on the school front door with a rubber band and masking tape. Brothers and sisters, it gets worse. Back in April, when I found out about the overdue vacant property registration fees,
now it gets worse. So wait a minute. It's August. They fed up, and now they want their money. But you knew at the very minimum, admittedly, back in April, that you owed the money. Okay, all right, we getting there. So here's the thing that I know about life. As a 43-year-old man, the one thing that I know is this, is that I know every single thing about my own business. There is nothing that I'm unfamiliar with. I know it before I ever get contacted about it. I know my property taxes is coming. When I went through just the other day and I showed y'all all of them papers from all of the different property taxes, from all the different cities of the properties that I own, right? And I went through, and there was one that I went online to go and pay, but for whatever reason, it would not allow for me to be able to pay that one online. What did I do? The very next morning, I went straight to City Hall in that particular city, and I went up to the desk and I said, for whatever reason, I'm not able to pay this online and I don't understand it. And she said, oh, well, let me look into it for you. But in the meantime, do you want to pay the property taxes? Because it looks like this is the only one you still owe on. I know that in September, it's a possibility for you to get a penalty if you don't pay it on time, because you have to pay the summer taxes and you have to pay the winter taxes in Michigan in particular. So I paid it. I went straight there. Nobody was in line. I can go straight up to the door, go straight up to City Hall, and it's a woman right there, and they'll take your money gladly, and they want to pay it. Because let me tell you something. You know what the last thing that a city wants to do? You know the last thing that a county wants to do? You know the last thing that the state wants to do personally, especially in a neighborhood that is impoverished or a low-income community? You know the last thing they want to do? The last thing they want to do is take your property to resell it. Now, it may be a little bit different in Crooked County over there in Chicago, but the last thing they want you to do is they want to have to take your property. Why? Because then it's a possibility, A, that it may not sell, B, they want it on the tax rolls. So the tax rolls allow for them to be able to structure their budget so that they can make sure that they can figure out what it is that they can plan for the next year, whatever the capital improvements is, how they can give themselves raises, so on and so forth. So the last thing that the county wants to be in is in the real estate business. This is just the honest to God truth. They prefer for you to pay your stuff so that they can make sure that they collecting as a business, as a city, as a county, as a state, so that they can make sure that they running up the bag. They want you to keep your property because they want you to pay the property taxes. They want you to pay the fees to keep your businesses open. They want you to do whatever it is. And this is just the honest to God truth. It's just the honest to God truth. Like as a business owner, as a property owner, as a real estate owner, as a residential, whatever you want to zone in, they want to. They want you to do it. So he's saying that he knew this. But see, what I'm telling you is that he knew this a long time ago. You know what's coming down the pipeline way before they even contact you about it. You know what's coming down the pipeline. If you own this building for 6, 7, 8, planning for the last 10, 15 years, taking donations, you know what your requirements are. You know what the permits are. You know what you got to do. None of this is a surprise. None of this is a surprise. I know, you know, when you owe somebody $50, you know you owe them $50. Why you keep avoiding them? And every time you see them, you acting like you don't know. Oh, you know what? I forgot all about that money. No, you know. I know if I owe somebody $5. That's why every single payday, before I even pay myself, before I even pay my bills, the first thing I do is I pay all of my people. Before I ever pay myself, before I pay a bill, before I pay a car, before I get some insurance, before I do anything, the first thing I do, and everybody that works for me and everybody that's ever do business with me will tell you, the first thing I do is I pay people. I pay the people that I owe, employees, salaries, everything, because people need their money. Because you know what I notice about other people also is that they have stuff that they have to pay for, and that they anticipate in the money because they know that it's coming. They're anticipating the money because they know that it's coming, because it's, you know, it's expected. We all know what money needs to come in and what money needs to go out. We all know what it is that we need to do. And so the first thing you do is you take care of your obligations, you take care of your people before you breathe differently when you make sure that everything else is, even if you only got a few dollars left over for yourself. If everything is paid off, you kick your feet up like you did something. Tell me I'm lying. When everything is taken care of, you look at your girl differently. You be like, huh. Yeah. It's groceries in the refrigerator. For the kids, you know, hey, what's going on, y'all? Y'all want to go outside? Want to go for a walk? You feel like going for a walk. If everything is paid up and you don't owe nobody nothing, you got a different pep in your step. As a man, you walk differently. Did you buy everything you need? You take care of everything? Listen, get yourself a little bit extra. Don't worry about it. Get yourself a little extra. That's the honest to God truth. So no guy, no man that has been on this earth for 30, 40, 50 plus years is confused about what their expectations and obligations are. Maybe he's overwhelmed. Maybe he got in over his head. I'm not wishing for him to lose anything. I want him to be incredibly successful. I think it would be beneficial for him to actually get a job, to be honest with you at this point.
I had asked the city of Wilmington if they could retroactively apply our nonprofit waiver. According to the nonprofit waiver for the city of Wilmington, if you are a nonprofit organization, they will waive your vacant property registration fees for 4 years. If you are a nonprofit organization in the city of Wilmington, they will waive your nonprofit vacant property registration fees for 4 years. If they would have applied our nonprofit vacant property registration waiver, we would owe absolutely nothing. We would owe absolutely nothing. We would owe absolutely nothing. But I asked them, and they ignored my emails for 4 months. They ignored my phone calls for 4 months.
All of the black women and all of you blackity blacks over the years that's been coming at me and saying, Anton, I can't believe it. You know, you shouldn't hold them accountable. I predicted every single thing that is happening right now. I told you that it would happen. I predicted that it would happen. I said, y'all, I'm telling you, I said, bro, this dude knows nothing about business. He knows nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing about business. He knows nothing about business. I've said it 10 times out of 10, and I've said it years ago. At least 2-3 years ago, I told y'all this. I offered an in-person interview and I was going to pay him a bag a long time ago. Y'all not paying attention. When he was bragging and he was saying, listen, pay him $50,000 for a debate. I didn't even have a rose gold Rolex on at that time. I had the regular gold Rolex on at that time. And y'all said, Anton, no, man, you don't know what you're talking about. Anton, you don't, okay, well then let's go revisit it. Let's talk about it. Had to all go on.
Dr. Umar dropped an interesting video today. Dr. Boom. I think Umar Johnson just trying to come up on a bag. Three reasons why this is all cap, all purely entertainment, and that this has nothing to do with A, debating, or me debating me. I'm going to tell you why.
I've been telling y'all this for years. You didn't want to pay attention to it. I told y'all that he accepted and then declined my offer. I told y'all about that one too.
What's going on is Anton from Anton. I'll give you my thoughts on that in a second. But in the meantime, I need you guys to do a couple things.
It's been happening
for a long time. Decide that they don't want to rock with you or they don't want to do your platform or
I've been telling y'all this for years. So this is nothing new. This is nothing new. All of it is the same. Umar Johnson has been doing this thing for years.
They ignored our emails for 4 months. They ignored our phone calls for 4 months. And instead, the first time I hear from them since April, the first time I hear from them since contacting them April, asking them to apply our vacant property registration fee waiver to the past 4 years so we would owe absolutely nothing, they ignored me since April. They ignored me since April. No phone call, no email, nothing in the postal mail since April. And the first thing we find out, the first time we hear from them since April is a letter on the front door of the school, affixed with a rubber band and masking tape. A rubber band and masking tape. Brothers and sisters, giving us 20 days to pay these back taxes. We already paid $30,000 for water that we don't even use. We just paid $30,000 to the city of Wilmington for water that we don't even use. And now we got to pay another $30,000 for vacant property registration fees that we shouldn't even owe because we should have a waiver. We should have a waiver. We should have a waiver. And it gets worse, brothers and sisters. It gets worse because they are raising the vacant property registration fee. They are raising the vacant property registration fee this fall from $5,000 a year to $12,000 a year. I'm going to say it again. They are raising the vacant property registration fee this fall from $5,000 a year to $12,000 a year. Brothers and sisters, I want y'all to get ready for a protest. I want all FDMG donors and supporters to get ready for a protest. We may have to march on City Hall, brothers and sisters. We may have to march on City Hall because of the racism. I'm going to call it what it is, racism. Discriminatory treatment. Why did we get no notification that y'all were going to sell our schools? Why did you not respond to any of our emails to retroactively apply our vacant property registration fee waiver?
We gotta stop, black people. Black people, black people, black people, black people, black people. Black people, black people, black. Well, not let me revise that. I apologize. I misspoke. Black culture. Black people are much different than black culture. Every single thing that we don't do correctly, or that we get in and over our heads about, or whenever we finesse, or whatever it is, we always blame the white man. The white man. The white man. Every single time. Y'all saying it's not the culture, I say you a liar. And the reason that I say you a liar, shout out to everybody that's in the chat. The reason that I say you're a liar is because it is the thing that we celebrate the most. Y'all loved him. You donated to his school. You celebrated him. You championed him when he said snow bunnies never, black queens forever. He pandered to y'all. He told you that you black men need to make sure that they go and marry all of the stepmothers and baby mamas and do this. He held y'all accountable. He pandered to y'all, and y'all fell for a hook, line, and sinker for 15 years. The Breakfast Club, listen, the same way that y'all want to try to hold Earn Your Leisure, and I don't have nothing against Earn Your Leisure at all, the same way that y'all wanted to, if y'all gonna hold Earn Your Leisure accountable for people that they may or may not have known that were doing things that wasn't ideal when it comes to finances, that had nothing to do with them in particular, then y'all got to hold the Breakfast Club accountable for them having Dr. Umar Johnson on there 7 times. Yeah. They kept inviting them back. What's going on? Charlemagne, I'm gonna burn the whole thing down. Umar Johnson, Charlemagne, Angela Yee, DJ Envy, they kept having them on over and over and over. How y'all think he started getting motion in the first place? How do you think that any of us started to even discover Umar Johnson? If you're going to hold other people accountable for people that got on a platform and got visibility, then how can you not hold the Breakfast Club accountable for the fact that they had him on 1,000 times? Oh, we don't want to talk about that? We don't want to talk about that? Because you got to keep the same energy across the board, right? The Breakfast Club has been selling y'all trash for years. They have been trying to get y'all to endorse the Kamala Harris, be a part of the Democrat plantation. DJ Envy, he over there talking about shit that he don't know nothing about when it comes to real estate. They telling y'all to take out hard money loans and making sure that y'all out here getting finesse, losing your shirt, losing your property, doing business with unscrupulous DJ Caesar and Caesar Flipping and Jay. And y'all paid y'all stupid money to go to these places. And then I say, you know what, y'all? Ain't none of this right. Don't do this. Don't play that. This is all crazy. I'm telling you, 3-4 years from now, when everything start coming out into the wash, I'm gonna be standing right here saying, I told you so. I told you so. And y'all fall hook, line, and sinker. We need to pull our money together in order to make sure that we create a fund that all of the black community can prosper for. I said, y'all so dumb. What you think? You gonna cash up your way to success within the black community? What's wrong with you? Umar Johnson, let me tell you about black culture, because this is not even about black. This ain't even about Umar Johnson. This is just the truth. Black Umar Johnson is he is the personification and the creation of y'all continuing to create dumb stuff and support dumb stuff in the culture. This all Umar Johnson is. When I look at politicians, the Jasmine Crockett's, the AOCs, when I look at the black leaders, the Umar Johnsons, This is just a representation of how stupid you are. Oh, Anton, don't call me stupid. Well, stop doing dumb stuff. Umar Johnson is nothing more than a representation of you. You are the dumb one. You went to the rallies, you bought the courses, you stood and painted at FD and BMG knowing that nigga, it was never opening. Y'all invited him to the platform. You blew him up as a social media icon. You gave him a bunch of subscribers on Instagram. And now you continue to just at some point, you need to just cut off the arm because it got gangrene on it and it's infecting the rest of the body. This is all it is. I've been telling you this for years. Oh, man, I don't like the fact that you saying it. So this nigga will tell you a lie and act like y'all gonna get some reparations and you fall hook, line, and sinker. He talking my language. You ain't getting nothing. You ain't getting nothing from nobody. I'm going to tell you the same way that I told you last year and the year before that and year before that and year before that. They are not taking up any legislation to give you a dime. I don't look at these platforms as anything more than entertainment. I don't take none of this serious. I don't take the Breakfast Club is really great as content creators. But y'all niggas actually signed up for these motherfuckers courses. Y'all went to the sessions and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna learn something about real estate from these motherfuckers." Oh, you gave them your money to go and flip. Let me tell you something about business people. And any bag chaser, any person that has ever did business with me, any person that has ever joined a Patreon will tell you this. I refuse under all circumstances to take anybody's money to invest. I will never invest somebody else's money. I will never need you to crowdfund an event for me. I will put up my own money. I take my own L's. I take my own dubs. And that's just the way it is. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to say, hey, listen, these are the receipts. This is what happened. I overpaid for this. I lost on this. I won on this. This is what you can learn from my experiences. And this is how it is that I played it. For the future, for your children, for your siblings, for yourself, I want you to understand something. You don't need any. I'm gonna play a little bit more of the video, but I want to help y'all to understand something. All of y'all as individuals, all right? You don't need an investment banker. You don't need a broker. You don't need any of that stuff. You don't need nothing. You don't need to crowdsource. You don't need to crowdfund. You don't need to come together in order to pull your money together to do anything. When it comes to networking, right? Networking is not going to an event. It's not pooling your money together. What it really is you having something to add a value to the group. Somebody seeing the value that you add. They are also valuable because they also got motion. And then if y'all see an opportunity to collab on something that benefits y'all both, then y'all come together. Black people, let me tell you what y'all need to do. I'm going to be very clear and very direct with you today. You need to go to a community college and get your education. You need to get your high school diploma and get your GEDs. You need to go to trade schools and get your money up. You need to stop buying things that you don't need until your investments can pay for them. You need to learn and get information. Most of it is free. You don't need to put your money into a crowdsourcing or a crowdfund. You need to learn financial literacy, and then you need to invest in yourself. Anybody that has ever reached out to me and said, Anton, you added value into my life. Anton, you did this to me. What is it that I can do for you? You know what I tell them? And everybody can tell you this. I say the best thing that you can do for me is to do more for yourself. Clean up your own lawn, cut your own grass, pay your property taxes, get off your mortgages, and put money into things that is going to add value into your life. Take care of your kids. And stop using credit cards and stop thinking that you're going to get rich quick. That's it. There is no quick ways to get money. There is no fast ways to get rich. It just ain't. It take a long time. It's hard. It's difficult. You're going to fail. You're going to be successful. And then you're going to figure it out. And that's life. And the longer that you prolong it, the more difficult and the longer it's going to take for you to get there. Your 401ks, your 403bs, your Roth IRAs, that mutual funds, stocks, and strong companies, that is the way that you get to the bag. And once you become successful, then you start figuring out other ways to pivot and invest, and you can take more risks because you have more income coming in. And that's when you start to invest in your business. But go to fucking work. Get a job, nigga. Get a job. And then you work on your businesses and you work on your hobbies after you get off of work. That's it. It ain't no shortcuts. It ain't no community. You know what the community is? When everybody doing what they supposed to do and picking up the trash off their own lawn. You don't need to. That's coming together. It's taking care of your family. Fix your family. Fix your household. Stop having kids out of wedlock and take care of your business. You don't need nobody to tell you this. You don't need nobody. You don't need to have to kumbaya. You need to have a meeting for a person to tell you to be on top of your business, take care of your business, and take care of your kids. Is that what you need? You need somebody to come together. Y'all need a leader. You need another Malcolm X. You need a Martin Luther King. You need somebody to say that. You need somebody to be at the top of the mountain telling you this. Okay, well, I'm telling you right here online for free. We ain't got to do no community meeting. We ain't got to pay for nothing. We ain't got to go get no hot dogs. We ain't got to pay no goddamn school. That's it. What you doing? Ladies and gentlemen, they trying to take our school because of racism. Anton ain't for the community. And you know why I never pay attention to people that say stuff like that? Because they usually the brokest ones. Because when you get to a certain level, you got a different mindset. You start taking on a more conservative approach. You start seeing things clearly. Because it's not the money that gets you there. It's the mindset that gets you there. And once you change your mindset, you understand that the money come with it. Get you a skill set. Take care of your business. Minimize the amount that you're taking out in student loans. But no, this is where we at. This is where we at, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
Knew they didn't want Dr. Umar in Wilmington. I didn't know it was this bad. I knew that the power structure. I'm not talking about the brothers and sisters in the community. They love us. Shout out to our Wilmington, Delaware family. Shout out to our Wilmington, Delaware family. They love Dr. Umar and FDMG. I'm talking about the power structure of Wilmington, Delaware. We knew they didn't want us in that city, but we didn't know they would go this far as to ignore us for 4 months and try to sell the school behind our backs. I didn't know they would go this far as to ignore us for 4 months and try to sell the school behind our backs. I didn't know they would go this far to ignore us for 4 months and try to sell our schools that we've been working on for 6.5 years behind our backs. So brothers and sisters, this is what we're going to do. We're going to fight like hell to get our money from the bank. We're going to pay off this vacant property registration fee waiver. And we might still have a protest at City Hall because this is wrong, brothers and sisters. I have emailed the mayor. I have gotten no response. I have emailed the chief of staff. I have gotten no response. I have emailed the city council president. I have gotten no response. So brothers and sisters, I'm going to meet with my team and we're going to decide if we're going to go ahead and have this protest. And it ain't going to be one. We're going to do multiple protests. And we're going to invite our donors and supporters from across the state of Delaware, our donors and supporters across the United States, and our donors and supporters across the entire planet. We may have to march on Delaware to let them know that you don't treat black people like this. Because if I was white, I wouldn't have been treated like this. If we were Asian, we wouldn't have been treated like this. If we were Arab, we wouldn't have been treated like this. If we were Jewish, we wouldn't have been treated like this. But we were treated like this because we were black. How dare you ignore us for 4 months and then put a sign on our door without even telling us that you're going to sell our properties? Brothers and sisters,
I'm waiting on the pitch, honest to God, because I haven't seen it up to this point. I'm genuinely reacting to this in real time. I'm waiting on the pitch.
Why didn't we receive a certified letter? Why didn't we receive a certified letter? Why didn't we receive an email? Why didn't we receive a phone call? Oh, we not going to quit. We not going to give in. The only thing left on the elementary school is to lay down the tile. We're going to lay down this tile, and we're going to apply for our certificate of occupancy. We're going to lay down this tile, and we're going to apply for our certificate of occupancy. We're going to lay down this tile, and we're going to apply for our certificate of occupancy. And if we have trouble getting our inspection and certificate of occupancy, we will have to march. We will have to march. We might march anyway, brothers and sisters. We're not giving up. We're not giving up, brothers and sisters. We're not giving up. We need y'all to call the mayor of Wilmington, Delaware. We need y'all to call the mayor's chief of staff in Wilmington, Delaware. We need y'all to call the city council president of Wilmington, Delaware. We need y'all to call the commissioner of license and inspections of Wilmington, Delaware. We need y'all to call the vacant property office, my account. Let them know that you are a donor of FDMG. Let them know you are a supporter of FDMG. And let them know that if this situation is not rectified, we will march on the city and we will sue the city of Wilmington, Delaware. We will sue 598-998-21598 for racism and discriminatory treatment. If you need to reach me, 2858 text message only. The Dr. Umar Johnson, letting you know that I'm still standing for black people. I'm still riding for black boys, and we will open the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. No racism from the city of Wilmington. Get on your telephone and call the mayor. Call the commissioner. I was Dr. Umar and FDMG ignored for 4 months. 4 months. Brothers and sisters, they could have simply told us no. Brothers and sisters, registration fee waiver. No problem. We could have got a payment plan the first week of April. Instead of they ignore us for you don't pay our money. We're going to put a letter on your letter off the high. What if they took the letter off the elementary school? They say we owe approximately $20,000 on the elementary school. They say we owe approximately $20,000 on the high school. Our accounts are frozen. Our accounts are frozen. Our accounts are frozen. We need y'all to help us pay this bill. We're going to fight like hell to get our accounts freed up. We're going to fight like hell to get our accounts freed up. But if we don't, y'all got to help us pay this bill and save our school. Y'all got to help us pay this bill and save our school. Y'all got to help us pay this bill and save our school. You don't have to root for me, brother. I don't need you. I got more than enough supporters. But I want everybody to know that there might be a protest soon. We need you to come in from Africa, from Europe, from Australia, from Canada, to come in from all the 50 states and show the city of Wilmington, Delaware. You will not disrespect black people. You will not sabotage black people. You will not discriminate against black people. And you will not try to steal property from black people. This is your big brother, Dr. Umar Johnson. They standing strong. Leo season. We will not quit. We will not abdicate. We will not equivocate. Black queens forever. Snow bunnies never. Garveyism to get back. Pan-Africanism to perish. See you in Nat Turner land. See you in New Orleans. See you in Hattiesburg. See you in Mobile, Alabama. This is your brother, King Kong Consciousness. I love you too. Peace and Pan-Africanism. Washington, D.C., we stand with you. Philly, Delaware, my PayPal, my Brooklyn, my Harlem, my Long Island, Staten Island, Boogie Down, Bronx. Africans, hit your PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. Make your donations for Black August Leo season. I will see you in Nat Turner land. August the 21st, next week, Nat Turner land. Make sure you go to natturnerlibrary.com and get your tickets. Make sure you go to natturnerlibrary.com and get your tickets. Make sure you go to natturnerlibrary.com and get your tickets. I will see you in Nat Turner land, August the 21st. New Orleans, Louisiana, August the 29th. I will see you. Hurricane Katrina 20th anniversary. New Orleans, Louisiana, August the 29th. Hurricane Katrina.
Bro. I just can't. I can't.
20th anniversary.
I can't, bro.
Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Dr. Umar coming to town.
I can't, bro. I just had to get up and just take a walk for a second, bro. Honest to God. Seriously. Seriously, I had to get up and just take a walk for a minute because I'm just amazed at the fact that, well, I'll say this. I'll say this. Y'all get whatever it is that y'all deserve. Whatever happens, however it play, you guys are the donors and the architects of Umar Johnson and his school. And however he want to play it, he needs to get a job. He needs to get a different hustle. He need to do something else because this is out of control, bro. Honestly. And the fact that y'all still getting hustled like this is crazy to me. It's crazy to me, but it's where we at. Let me read some of these super chats and we'll go from there. I don't even be tough on him like that. People be on his head top. AD, stay-at-home mother here. I appreciate it. Shout out to my stay-at-home moms. Vaughn, LA23, I appreciate you. Rage King Leo says, my cousin doing life and knocking over stores, gas stations in Vegas, kidnapping for his dusty baby mama. Now he doing life. We got to do better, man. Nansa Music in the building says, the guys that work say Anton always be showing off. Show them this part of the show. Ask them niggas why they so broke, man. Ask them why they so broke. Tell them, said Anton said, show you this. Usually it's going to be the niggas at work that try to hold you back, bro. Tell that nigga to keep packing his lunch. Keep packing his lunch. Keep eating your oatmeal. You know, and act your wage. Act your wage. WAGE. What's crazy is that you offered him a bag years ago. That offer is sailed. Me University says, not Mount Sinai. Carrington Love Jr. says, that was the best daycare rated monologue freestyle ever, Anton. I'm on it. I'm cleaning up my act. Life to live for network says his body language screams lies in his video. David Simpson Jr. says Unc needs an impersonation compilation and a Tog Dog Crashes Out show. Lance Swizzle says, I just hope people stop getting got by clowns like this. I don't. I think that people deserve everything that they get. Jay Hunter Lee says, wait, his account been frozen for over a week now, hasn't it? Mansa Music says he need to auction off that thing around his neck. Hey Man says he can sell salt to a snail. Well, he would have some money if that was the case. Edmund 850 says, peace and Pan-Africanism, Anton. Good to catch the show live again. Greetings from the UK. Started playing clips at work. Colleagues love the commentary. Shout out to my UK people out there in the streets. Jay Hunter Lee says, maybe it's just me, but it seems these Hotep people all be broke after. Every time, giving their last dollar. No different than the church. He writes checks as A can't afford the cash, as Tropical Empress in Spirit. The ATL Flipper says, just want to say thank you, bro. I joined the Patreon last month. Followed your advice on content creation. And our recent YouTube video was one out of, shout out to the YouTube content creators in the building. Lance, my dog Lance. Man, shout out to Lance. Me and Lance do business. Lance charges me every single month. And I say, yo, I'm going to gladly pay. I gladly give my hard-earned dollars over to Lance Swizzle because Lance does such a great job that I can't afford to not pay Lance what he charges me for such a great job at the things that he does. And I got to do business with my people. You know what I'm saying? I pay what he, and I don't think that he, well, let me not say that part. I was about to say, I don't think he charged me enough for all of the great stuff that he do for me. My dog, Lance Swizzle, who I've known since high school, and we still do business to this day. Shout out to Lance. He says, how you going to educate kids when he can't even manage an empty building? That's a fact. Casual Germ says, hardcore facts supporting the show. Shout out to Casual Germ. I appreciate you. B. Tunson says, get a job. That's a fact. There ain't nothing wrong with getting a job. David Miller says, what do you think about day trading? Future Forex options do you think is smart to get into? Listen, me personally, I am not going to recommend, and I stand on this 100 times out of 100. I do not recommend something that I don't do myself. There are people out there that I believe that does really well as a result of it. Maybe y'all can tap in with some of them. I'm not gonna speak negatively about it because I got people that I know that made a lot of money from it, but I don't know anything about that. I'm not gonna recommend something that I don't do myself. I am a long-term investor. I am a long-term investor. I do not do day trading. I will never do day trading. It is not up my alley, and it is not in my wheelhouse. That D-Dave says Umar, the Timu version of Black Fatigue. No, he's the final boss. The Service USA LLC says, as I buy land across the USA and a couple other countries, I can't wait to dive into the Patreon for tips and tricks on property management. Hit that like button. Shout out to you, big dog. Joel says, Dr. Umar, Afro Kundus worse than Bishop Whitehead. I heard he got like 9 years. Jason V. Holmes says the building does not qualify for waiver because passed through fees before he acquired it. Wow, I didn't know that. And he continued to miss payments afterwards. All outstanding fees must be paid before applying for the waiver. So you know more about his business than he do. Wyatt BA56 says it's the same thing Black Lives Matters did, no different. Florida Panoramic, salute to you, big dog. Real Gospel Chop says facts. Shout out to the Real Gospel Chops. Carrington Love Jr. says you're 100% right, Anton. Black men need to get involved in industrial infrastructure in America. Buying the machines that the city, state, public needs to function daily. That's where the money is made. Chris Cunningham says he better call Joe Biden. That's his district. Lance Swizzle says Democrats effing Umar over. Waterloom Maid says, I always say your lifestyle reflects your mindset. Bilderberg Boy says, peace, brother AD. All the scammers come through the Breakfast Club pipeline. Umar was just there in Newark a couple days ago, lying to the poor Black folks who all are always getting trapped in pyramid schemes. 392Q says, Umar Johnson, a.k.a. repeat 3 times. Fudge. 357 says, don't he got a liberal politicians on speed dial? Facts. Carrington Love Jr. says, life is a long personal development road. I'm telling you, when I turn 60 to 70, I'm going to have contracts to service the electricity in the cities, 20 plus machines, leveraging real estate for machines and the land. JC says, from now on is Dr. Dusty, a.k.a. Dr. Pookie. Florida Panoramic says, take the L out of lover, and it's over. Christopher Mayberry says, he Ryan Nolan that pitch. Yes, I'm aware it's Nolan Ryan. That's how much he effed it up. Freedom Land says too much excuses and no clarity. Aaron L says, let's say he's 100% legit where he's going to get enough money to pay staff and teachers. He can't pay taxes and fees. This level scamming is what all of it is just logical. Aaron L, it's logical to me and you and the people that's watching this live stream. But for everybody else, for some reason, they truly believe that some miracle is going to fall out the sky. Jason Holmes says he talks about having a team, but his IRS tax documents has him listed, only him listed, and he works 60 plus hours a week at the school. He's lying on tax documents. Napoleon says that the DJ that MB Charlemagne the fraud and just not hilarious paid to keep the culture mentality trapped and pander to the victim mindset. Q says, shout out to Q, originally Car Fairbanks says, this is a fabrication, AD. I've lived in this area for 17 plus years, AD. It is not the white community. The city that went behind his back looks like Umar. He has not made himself visible. Oh, thank you, Q, for giving me the insight. Chris H says, your Dr. Umar impression is spot on. Your Dr. Umar impression is spot on. Your Dr. Umar impression is spot on. My dog Slimmy says, good morning, AD Snow Bunnies. Forever Booger Wolves. Never cook up on Fresh and Fit tonight. What up, though, everybody? I will be on Fresh and Fit tonight. Come kick it with me, y'all. Mr. Lot says, plot twist. Umar got a motorboat. 13 Snow Bunnies for the school rights. Y'all crazy. Rage King Leo says, people still fund this fraud. Alex Oubre. Shout out to my dog, Alex Oubre says, look at Chrono 24. It allows you to monitor appreciation of your collection. I'm a computer engineer at FAMU. Saw Umar's Pander Fest live. Did you see it live? Oh, man. SAR says, AD cooking today. I'm retiring at the end of the year from USPS, retired also from USMC. Congratulations, bro. And still working on my third career as an event creator. Thank you. Thank you for being a role model for success. Lisa M says, keep spreading the knowledge and many blessings. King Wooly says, tell Umar we like our fries hot with salt on them. I want my salt too. Nichelle says the delusion is strong with this one. Ed Taylor in the building. Deacon Weezo says black girls forever, school for black boys never. Messing up y'all monies. KJ says Umar was on the Breakfast Club telling black men to get a trade. He needs to take his own advice. Well, he's supposedly the psychologist, right? If you're the psychologist, you should be able to leverage that and get that bag up to go and pay whatever it is that you need to pay. I believe in putting your own money up. I just believe in putting your own money up. I ain't crowdsourcing. I ain't doing none of that. I just believe in putting your own money up and running up a bag. All right, y'all, let's pivot. We got to head over to Washington, D.C. Let's spend 10 minutes in Washington, D.C. because apparently the D.C. mayor has changed her stance after standing against Trump to actually support the National Guard and or taking over the military or the police in Washington, D.C. in order to make it safer. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get into it, y'all.
Morning, there are new images of President Trump's police takeover rolling out in the nation's capital. FBI and DEA agents, some wearing masks, bulletproof vests, seen patrolling the streets of Washington, D.C.'s Georgetown neighborhood. And that Trump move is coming all really into clearer focus. Just as it is becoming into clearer focus, it's also raising new questions of which city is next. So first to D.C., the National Guard were seen at the Washington Monument. As well, we've also seen law enforcement personnel with the Department of Homeland Security and the U.S. Marshal Service taking part in traffic stops, and U.S. border agents on patrol at D.C.'s Union Station, the major hub for train travel there. All of this part of the president's crime crackdown, he says, in that city, a city he's tried to portray as being overrun by criminals, despite, again, the statistics and what the math and numbers say, which is the city has seen a 26% drop in violent crime from this time last year. With hundreds of federal law enforcement now on the streets of D.C., the FBI says 23 arrests were made overnight. And according to the FBI director, FBI agents were involved in nearly half of those arrests. CNN's Elena Treen is at the White House for us this morning, and a very different day it is this morning. What are you hearing today?
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, Kate, we have now really
a lot of people say, Anton, why are you looking at CNN as a reference point in order to try to have this conversation? Because I think it's good to get different perspectives on all subjects. I don't want to just look at Fox News. I look at the local news. I look at CNN. I look at MSNBC. I look at Fox. I look at ABC. I look at every single thing. And so once we get what their perspective is on whatever it is that they report and whether or not we think they're reporting honestly or not, we then give our perspective based off of the information that we consume. But we want to consume everything, not just one thing.
Seen this ramped up presence of federal law enforcement in the streets and really at these high trafficked tourist spots. That is what we're hearing from our conversations with people here at the White House, where they want these federal law enforcement agents to be focused. So you mentioned we saw the National Guard. We actually saw 5 armored personal carriers near the Washington Monument on Tuesday evening. This comes after the National Guard had came in on Tuesday. But then, of course, you showed those images of people in the streets in Georgetown and all of these areas that we know where there's a lot of traffic, not necessarily, though, the areas we know where crime is the highest, places like Anacostia and others. And we've heard some criticism of that approach. So we're going to have to see really how this all continues over the next 30 days, because that is another key question, of course, is how long are we actually going to see this and how effective is this going to be, this entire federal takeover? We know that the president has until mid-September after that point. The White House has said that they are going to reevaluate what this process looks like. And of course, after that as well, he would need congressional approval to move forward. But a key thing that they're going to be analyzing as well throughout that time period, again, is how successful is this? Because the key question is whether or not this is actually going to end up being a model for some of these other cities we know that the president has mentioned, places like Baltimore, where we did hear the governor of Maryland say that he believes that this move is not necessarily, it's dangerous and it could lead to problems, but also cities like Los Angeles, Chicago, all of that's still unclear as we watch how this ends.
I already told y'all what the play was. I told y'all that back in a couple months ago, or even a month ago, when y'all was doing those. See, let me tell you how stupid people are, and let me tell you how easy it is for them to be able to use you against yourself. Is because when they were doing the illegal migrant arrests in different cities, but Obviously, we know that it's more pronounced over in Los Angeles. Once they actually got all of the funding that they needed from the tax bill, then that's when they started to actually do the test, because it was just a test run when he first got into office and he was inaugurated. So what really was happening at that time was they were looking at what the results were and how it is that they can perfect certain things. So when y'all idiots decided that y'all wanted to listen to Karen Bass in Los Angeles and Gavin Newsom, and we're going to get to Brandon Johnson shortly right after this, when y'all listen to them, what y'all basically did was, Christopher Chapman, you saying it correctly inside of the chat, you played directly into Trump's hands. Well, why did you do that? Because you basically gave justification, A, for them to deploy the National Guard, which was supported by the Supreme Court. And then what you also did was you wasted your money trying to sue the Trump administration, and then he won on the appeal anyway. And he still deployed the military and the National Guard. The second thing that you did was you showed the citizens that you didn't really care about their safety. The third thing that you did was you allowed for your city to become a test run by rejecting actually trying to fix your city in the first place before they actually deployed the National Guard. So when you allowed for people to protest, and not just protest peacefully, they destroyed things, they defaced buildings, they tore up businesses, they had street takeovers. What you did was give them the opportunity to test run the National Guard, the military, and deploy any kind of agency to make sure that they perfected their method that they're basically rolling out over into DC. That's all you did. So now, like I told you before in previous live streams, this is the blueprint that they're going to use in all of the cities, that they're going to clean up all of the cities. And you know why a lot of black people are mad? You know why some of the people are secretly not liking this? Is because now you got the alphabet boys crawling all over the city. Oh, no. I'm going to give it to you both from the national CNN, Fox News perspective, and then I'm going to give it to you from the street perspective. All right? The streets is mad. There are people literally pissed off in the streets. You know why they pissed off in the streets? Because now you got more law enforcement in here. And what that does is it makes the spot hot. Because now they chasing you. First, they wasn't paying attention to you. Now they paying attention to you when they chasing you. You know the last thing that a dope boy, that people that are moving work, that the people that are doing the prostitution and stuff, you know what the last thing that they want is a bigger police presence, especially on a federal level. That's the last thing they want. Under no circumstances do you go against. You work with them. You don't work against them. And I'm talking about the local politicians in those cities, because all you're doing is messing up the money. Now the money dried up. Now the money is drying up because you got federal agents crawling everywhere. That Fenty, not moving. Not moving. Nothing is moving now because everything got to stop. Now everything stopped, and it stopped like that. It stopped. So now they got Baltimore on the list. They got Chicago on the list. They got New York on the list. They got DC on the list. They got Los Angeles on the list. They got Denver on the list. They got Houston on the list. I heard that they got Orlando on the list. I heard that downtown Orlando at night is just like, it's like the hood. I heard Orlando is not the city where you want to take your family to at night. If you looking to get out once the kids are asleep and you want to go into downtown Orlando, I heard it's YN City. YN City. I heard it's YN City in downtown. I'm right, Ricky. So I am right. Okay. So my sources do got me popping. Ricky Rack says, I live in Orlando, and you're right. I heard that all of the black people took over downtown Orlando and they be in the streets. They say Orlando is like South Beach, except it's all black people. I heard they got Orlando on the list because they want to make sure that the people can go to Universal Studios and Disney World peacefully.
Playing out over the next couple of weeks. She's been very careful with her.
The president and the administration seems to be shifting a bit, though.
I think that's exactly right. She's been treading very carefully. She's been very careful with her rhetoric. We've really seen that over the last week. I mean, when the president first announced that he had plans to do some of this, or even just wanting to bring in some federal law enforcement in the first place, it took her 5 days initially before she actually spoke out about it. And then even after he had made this announcement on Monday saying that he was going to be using the DC Home Rule Act to really have this takeover with federal agents, she still tried to argue that perhaps, it might be good to see people in the streets, while also noting that this move was unprecedented. But then yesterday, she did change her tone a bit. Listen to what she said.
We all need to do what we can in our space, in our lane, to protect our city and get to the other side of this guy and make sure we elect the Democratic House so that we have a backstop to this authoritarian push.
So you heard her saying have a backstop to this authoritarian push, which she's arguing that the president has been doing here, and also saying that they need to have a change in Congress to make sure that this could potentially be prevented in the future. All to say, very different language than we've heard in recent days, Kate.
A market shift, that's for sure.
I wish that the politicians in the United States, you would have a longer shelf life if you actually did the thing that was right for the people, and we wouldn't even have to figure out what the party is that you want to vote for. We got to get to the other side of this. No, you got to make sure that your people are safe in the communities. The kids should be able to walk down the street. People should be able to fly from out of town and come and say, oh my God, the Capitol was so beautiful. Can we walk over to the White House without getting mugged 2 blocks away from the White House? You should be able to walk down the street without worrying about if a homeless person is parking tents in front of your business in Washington, D.C. Chocolate City been Dope Boy City for a long time. Chocolate City has been Dope Boy City for a long time in Washington, D.C. And y'all playing identity politics. Let's get on the other side. She don't even know how to say authority. She don't know. This authoritarianism. Nobody should be objecting to safer streets. We pay for all of these federal agencies. We pay for the FBI, the CIA, the DIA, the Detroit Institute of Arts. We pay for the police. We pay for the feds. We pay for the sheriff. Y'all paying for all of this. And you telling me that people are just running around and doing whatever they want to do when they want to do in the Capitol? The place where Congress is at, the Treasury, and people is out there just causing a ruckus and tearing up stuff? This is crazy. We need to get, and I heard that she fired the person that was juking the stats all of a sudden. All of a sudden, they fired the person that was juking the stats that wanted to lower the crime statistics. I told y'all how they be manipulating the statistics over there, don't y'all? I told you how they manipulate this. No, crime is down in D.C. Where? I just came from D.C. I just came from D.C. I did a meetup there. Shout out to all of the bag chasers. We went to DC. We did the meetup. We had a good time. Had to watch my back. Yep, I had security in DC. Yep, I was security down in DC. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. He was watching. You didn't know where he was at. Then he was over there. Then he was over there. Yes, I did. Former military. Paying attention. Yes, I did have security. I said, not over here. Not right here where the tents are. Right over here where the tents are? Nope. We not having it. So, and it's unfortunate. It is absolutely unfortunate. But let me pivot for a second, right? Because I don't want to just make this about the DC Mayor Bowser. I don't want to just make this about her. I want to go over into one of my favorite mayors. I like this guy more than I like Karen Bass. I like him more than I liked Eric Adams. I like him more than I like Obama. Like him more than all of the mayors combined. None other than my guy. I would like to make sure that I introduce you guys over to Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson. And the reason that I like Brandon Johnson is because he's an educated fool, former 7th grade teacher, and y'all elected him to be mayor. He recently crashed out just yesterday. Just yesterday, he said that, you know, Trump has said that the Chicago mayor was completely incompetent and he was an idiot, right? But our resident chocolate face here recently went on a tangent at a meeting, right? And so he said that he absolutely vows, he stands 10 toes down on the idea that he's going to fight Trump tooth and nail. Chicago, $1.6 billion budget deficit, Chicago. Previous year, $942 million budget deficit, Chicago. Separately, the school system, aside from that, also has a $750 million budget deficit, Chicago. Don't own their own streets, Chicago. Remove ShotSpotter, Chicago. Made sure that they took care of every single illegal migrant that came up to Chicago. And he's going to allocate funds and resources. I'm going to allocate funds and resources, as I just talked to the Archdiocese. He's going to allocate funds and resources to make sure that he fights Trump tooth and nail on making Chicago streets safer. This is what he had to say.
Switching beats a bit, you talked earlier about how you don't believe that Donald Trump has the right to send the National Guard here. But what are your plans if the president moves ahead on such plans to try to have a police force of some kind in Chicago from the national government? How are you, is it just court action? What are you planning to do if that happens?
Well, look, the governor and I, we're on the same page here, right? And so, legal action, will be on the table. But I want
to help y'all to understand, even though they trying to fight the feds as a city and as a state, that is in a budget deficit and they can't even afford to breathe wrong. That is going to cost Chicagoans more money. Let's be clear. When they fight, regardless of whether or not you think that they're on the right side or they're on the wrong side, if you're liberal or conservative, I'm just giving you the facts. The fact is this, is that it costs taxpayers millions of dollars. The fights that they lose, the appeals that they lose, the only people that are getting rich in this instance is the lawyers and the court system. It costs you guys as taxpayers. See, they don't break that out in the budget the way that y'all want to see it. Y'all just see where they're trying to raise property taxes and all of that stuff. They don't break that out in the budget, right? But the legal services that they use, if you really want to pull the Freedom of Information Act, and y'all can do it, you just got to file it, you'll find out that it's costing y'all an egregious amount of money for them to fight these lawsuits. And they still lose.
Make something perfectly clear. These individuals are not being sent to cities to police cities because they're not trained to police. These are soldiers. They don't go through the training that our police officers go through. In fact, it's...
Read Super Chats in 1 second, Joe.
It is quite hypocritical on the part of the president to even suggest such a move, and it is destabilizing for the city of Washington, D.C. Look, crime is
destabilizing for the city of Washington, D.C. You have politicians, police chiefs, a system that is juking the stats. They have rampant crime. They have removed ShotSpotter to detect when a bullet goes through somebody's window. And you have Uber drivers that are getting carjacked. And they are lying. They are lying. I stand 10 toes down. Candace Owens, and I know it may not be a popular subject to talk about. Candace Owens, instead of trying to figure out whether or not Emmanuel Macron's wife has a penis or not, should also probably have her people look into how they are juking the stats. Like every single financial channel, all of the people that are looking to expose stuff, they should go and be pulling Freedom of Information Act and then comparing and doing comparative analysis and using AI to be able to determine how many police officers are on the street, how many calls came in, how many calls that they actually responded to, what was the response time, and what neighborhoods and what communities, and how many police officers were assaulted, how many gunshots went off. Like, there should be real life deep diving on trying to figure out why they are juking the stats and why they are reclassifying what a violent crime is, when it was responded to, how they only classify certain things as shoplifting, how many people got no bail, how many migrants were arrested. Like, we should really be able to go in and see that type of stuff. But I know, I know what's popular. I understand it from a content creation perspective. It's way more popular to talk about whether or not Emmanuel Macron's wife got a penis or not. That's deep. It's way more popular to talk about penis and vagina. Way more popular. Neither here nor there. Just a suggestion. No smoke, no hate, just a suggestion.
Down in Chicago. Crime is down. There is more work for us to do. But, he wasn't adamant about ensuring that the $830 million of funding that he took away from community violence prevention and intervention. These are individuals that are on the front line in these particular communities, preventing crime, preventing retaliation from taking place, building relationships. I know these individuals. I sit with them. We spend time with them. Deputy Mayor Gatewood. We're on constant calls with these individuals that are literally on the front line to keep our community safe. And, this president's approach is like, I wish it were just a joke. He's one, but it's
before the whack insults. Big Happy with basically no profile picture says, now that the left took opportunities away from us, because sometimes I like to bring up different things that people say that I think is good or interesting. Now that the left took opportunities away from us, they want the knuckleheads to bring the military to the city. What do y'all think about that in the chat? The left, I agree with the first part of that. They took the opportunities away from y'all. I think bringing the military to the city will actually be good for the city. Y'all need, especially in the summertime, they need to calm this down. It's too many killings, too many large gatherings, all of that. Too many killings and too many large gatherings. Shout out to Big Happy. Appreciate you for staying down and chatting with us. Let's continue. Mayor Brandon Johnson's narrative about how it is that Trump is an idiot.
It's antithetical to what we're actually working to accomplish here. And you're seeing the results all over the country. Antithetical to what we're actually working to accomplish here. And you're seeing the results all over the country. Brandon Scott.
I'm a C student. What is the definition of antithetical? Directly opposed or contrasted, mutually incompatible. People whose religious beliefs are antithetical to mine, as an example. Two antithetical emotions pulled at her. So why he can't just say directly opposed to? This is the way that 7th grade teachers talk. My bad.
Randall Woodfin, Mayor Bowser, Mayor Johnson in Milwaukee. 30% reduction in homicides just this year alone in the city of Chicago. 40% reduction in shootings and shooting victims. Like, these are individuals who are on the front line. The money that he took to give to the ultra rich that are preventing violence from taking place. He's exacerbating the problem here. Again, like running amok around this country, shredding our Constitution. He's dangerous. We have seen this before. And inch by inch, he continues to see what he will get away with. I appreciate the question. I really do, because I'm going to stand firm in my defense of our city. And we need more people raising their voices against someone who is trampling over the very Constitution that we helped form and build and reform. Like, I know my history. We don't get to Chicago just simply because we were just walking around aimlessly. We're talking about my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law was a sharecropper. That's barely a generation removed from slavery. We built this country. We fought for a country that didn't see us as a full human being.
What? Wait. So, you know, I am the king of derailment. All right. Let's not, I don't want him trying to take my crown. What the? Shout out to the daycares. What in the flying mess? See, I don't hit the same, but I'm going to stand on it. What does your mother-in-law have, being a sharecropper, have anything to do with whether or not we actually need to get our cities in order? Honest, no. I'm genuinely curious. What does your mother, because they'll turn us around, spin us around, and then we forgot what the question was that they asked in the first place. What does your mother-in-law that is not your mother have to do with whether or not Trump says that we need to fix the no bail system? We need to charge bail. We need to get tougher on criminals, and we need to make sure that our streets are safe. What does that have to do with anything? What is slavery? Why does black people, and that's the reason why I named this Truth About Black Culture. Why does black people feel though as though they have to introduce conversations into the sphere that has no relevance to anything that we are talking about at all? Why is this all? To my hoteps, to my blackity blacks, to all of the people that's holding us down inside of the chatty chat, what does this have to do with the price of tea in China? What does this have to do with anything? Honest to God, what does being a sharecropper, your mother-in-law, have to do with anything whatsoever? I don't see the relevance. I just don't see, why does everybody blame everything on racism or black people or whatever? Anyways.
This man is beyond like the tyranny that we see around the world. Because the tyranny that we're seeing around the world, in many instances, their constitution permits it. Our constitution was built and designed to provide checks and balance. There are certainly no checks to this president right now, except for the cities that are fighting to uphold our humanity and our democracy. And there's certainly no balance to him. I have never.
We live in a republic, by the way, guys. All right.
Seen a president more off than Donald Trump. Just off the rockers. So this is not just about Mayor Brandon Johnson in this moment. This is about one nation.
Under God.
That he is working overtime to divide and conquer. He said it. Take him at his word. As off as he is, take him at his word. I'm going to fight and do everything in my power to make sure that we protect the sanctity of a democracy that did not even want to see me.
What?
And if I can fight that hard for a democracy of which my ancestors built this country, if I can fight that hard for this democracy, everybody else has to lean in.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, that is Brandon Johnson and his take and his response to Trump calling him an idiot that he can't get his city together. I don't know what the black part came from, but that is his take. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get into the money. All right. I want to get to the money, but before I get into the money, as you know, we got to break this off into sections. We go local, and then we start talking about politics, and then we make sure we get to the money towards the end of the show. This the third trimester. I don't know. The third part of the show. Right, we did the first part, we did the second part. Now we got to get to the third. Brandon Nicholson says the mayor was on a Breakfast Club. Check it out. All right, I'll check it out for tomorrow. We'll throw that on the docket for tomorrow. Joseph Bailey says they'll put him out of office to get EBT chips back. Haven Simpson Jr. says it's never good to fight an entity, the feds, that has unlimited money unless you have lots of money on your side and a law to back you up. Rashida, what up, Rashida? Says, Chi-Town here. We know we messed up. Leave us alone, Anton. I moved to the burbs. Chris Cunningham says, I don't know who's worse, Umar or Brandon Johnson. They all of the same cloth. My ancestors built this country. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I do want to spend 10 minutes on y'all, warning y'all about something that is happening in airports across the country. All right. I don't want y'all to get distracted from the truth. And scammers are now stealing stealing luggage or stealing money with the luggage tag. See how I mixed that? I mixed money and luggage as muggage. They're stealing money with luggage tags at the U.S. airports. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me make sure I'm on that premium. You know what I'm saying? Because when we ain't on premium, you start getting ads. And I want to make sure that we own that premium. All right, let's get to it, y'all. This is what's happening at the airports.
If you go around the airport, you can find baggage tags just about everywhere. We're talking about these tags looped around the handles of our luggage, which travelers often tear off and just discard. But these tags have a lot of information embedded, and scammers are going after them.
They just take this off your luggage. They have your name. It's got a barcode, which is what I'm actually really worried about. But the name is all they need, the flight information, to make a false claim.
Travel expert Clint Henderson is referring to Delta Airlines because of a recent Reddit post from a user who says he or she is a baggage claims manager at Delta and that they're seeing an influx of false claims. The user says the scam leaves a traveler unaware so that if they end up having to file a claim for a legitimate loss, they may run into problems. Thousands have replied to that post. Travelers respond with shock, ready to start guarding their baggage tags.
That's terrible. I'm shocked, but also not, because technology allows us to access all kinds of information these days.
Do you have a practice regarding either this or boarding passes?
Usually for that, I'll cut up, but I didn't know about this, so I guess I'll start that now.
Travel experts say we should be treating these tags on our luggage as if they are bank statements and not to throw them out at the airport or even at the hotel. They say bring it home and shred it. And they say it's not just these tags that they are worried about, but also boarding passes.
What I'm really worried about is someone taking the information that's on that barcode right there and being able to steal your personal information, frequent flyer number, your contact details, your address. They'll get you any way they can. So treat these documents as if they're money.
So
I didn't even know that people were still getting printouts until I actually seen some people in the TSA line. And so usually for me, when you go in and you check in your luggage and they say, hey, do you want us to print out your boarding passes? And I say, nope, I don't want to print out my boarding passes. I just got it in the app. And so this is just going to be more justification for everything to go digital, but also putting the bag tags on there. Y'all will figure out anything. Like, dog, you know what kind of mind you got to have? Do you know what? And I seen that the bag tags that they were showing an example of was over there at LaGuardia. Looked like it was over in LaGuardia. So it always starts off at New York and it just spreads across the rest of the United States of America. Do you know how evil of a person? I would imagine that God got a special place in hell for people whose minds work to where only thing that they think about on a regular basis is just going out and doing stuff that they're not supposed to do. I don't know how you come up with this. Who is sitting in the airport and like, you know what, dog? We need to be able to develop something that we can scan that bag tag with so that we can steal their information and then ultimately be able to make false claims, or maybe we can develop more technology that allows for us to be able to steal information off of their boarding pass. Like, I don't think about that type of stuff. I am trying to get through the airport. I'm trying to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, I can check my luggage, that I get comfortable in my seat. I'm trying to make sure that I get all of my stuff uploaded so that when I jump on the airplane Wi-Fi, then I could just be able to edit whatever it is that I need to edit and add whatever, you know, thumbnail that I need to add. Who sits around and thinks about how they can steal information off of a bag tag? Now, when y'all go into the airport, now I see why a lot of people just do carry-ons. I don't like doing carry-ons. The only thing that I take onto the plane with me is my book bag. It's the reason why I like to relax. I want to get my luggage and keep it moving. I want to get my luggage and then I want to keep it moving. I don't like having to do all of that extra because I expect for everything to just work the way that it's supposed to work. But then I got to think about all of this extra junk that come along with it. And it's all because people don't know how to control themselves and they act like they ain't had no home training. And so now people are basically stealing luggage. You stealing they ain't even stealing.
Fox
5.
You
already got to worry about your luggage arriving the right way. And now they're taking the information off of the luggage.
Is watching your wallet and keeping your personal info from scammers. There's a new travel warning that has to do with those tags that airlines put on your luggage. Fox 5's Arthur Sheehan is at LaGuardia with what you need to know, including when to rip those tags off and when to throw them away.
Maybe people going to start shipping their luggage or something. I don't know.
If you go around the airport, you can find baggage tags just about your for a bank. Say we are tags that they are worried about, but also boarding passes.
What I'm really worried about is someone taking the information.
Yeah, man, we just got to be a little bit more vigilant. It's unfortunate, but this means that cybersecurity professionals, certain people are always going to be able to have jobs, but you got to be a special kind of idiot. You got to be a special evil person. If y'all know friends, let me say this also, and then I want to get into Google Chrome and offer a little bit under $40 billion in order for them to try to, Perplexity is trying to buy Google Chrome. I want to get into AI and stuff like that. I don't even like those type of people around me, bro. I've grown, and I know that younger people, they tend to hold on to their friend groups a little bit longer because, you know, I was on Fresh and Fit the other day. I'm going to be on there tonight. And the girl was like, you know, if you got that scammer money, you got that scammer money. I mean, you got that finessing money. I don't know how women like talking to dudes that could possibly get a 10-year, 20-year sentence for doing something that they're not supposed to do, and that's the person that you in the car with. That don't make no sense to me. You know, if the guys, you know, because that scammer money, you got to talk to the guys that got the scammer money, and she look high. She look high. I don't even like that type of energy around me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's enough to where you don't even know what people really got going on. I don't like being around people that don't wash their hands when they come out of the bathroom. I don't like hanging out with people because I might be like, what up, fam? And then I missed. And now I got pee on my hands. Now I got dick juice on my hands because I shook your hand and you didn't want to do the right thing when you went into a public restroom. Now I got dick juice on my hands. I don't know if that is water from you washing your hands or from you shaking your dick. I don't even like kicking it with people that don't wash their hands. I don't like people that got cats. Now, let's get to the real thick of it. And I know I can believe. No, this is my preference. Have a cat if you want to. Just don't make my food. I hated potlucks. I couldn't stand potlucks. The only food that I ever ate at the potluck, when we would go to the potlucks at the company break or picnic and stuff like that, is the food that came straight from the restaurant. Like, because I'm the smart one, right? So I'm not gonna be sitting there, hey, can you make a potluck? Can you make the baked beans? I ain't doing all of that. What we are gonna do is we gonna order them. I'm gonna sign up for something that I can order that I can, I'm gonna call it in. Hey, I need chicken wings. And we gonna bring the chicken wings. It's gonna come straight from the restaurant, and I'm gonna drop it down. And let me tell you the type of potlucker I am. I'm the potlucker that'll contribute, but I won't eat. I'm the potlucker that will contribute, but I won't eat. Are you gonna get anything? My stomach is killing me. Man, I forgot we was having a potluck today, and I almost called off work. I ain't supposed to be right now. No, you know what? I'm chilling. I'm relaxing. I ain't trying to do all of that today. I'm just slow motion. I'm the potlucker that drop off because I got to participate because I want to make sure that I'm a cultural fit. And I'm just not going to eat because I don't trust people. The older I get, the more that I learn, the more I realize I can't trust people. Houses be dirty. Niggas start scratching their balls. You got HIV and you making the green beans. I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm straight. I'm good. I'm straight. She put love in that meal. Even when I go to my own family gatherings, I'll be, hey, who made the mac and cheese? Oh, you made the mac? All right, let me get a little bit of that. That's it, bro. That's it. I'm not doing nothing, bro. None of that. Anyways, be very careful about scammers deciding that they want to take your information and use it in a negative way that's not ideal for you. I want to get into Perplexity. A lot of people don't understand what Perplexity is. Perplexity is an AI company. Well, let me read the super chats first. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I want to make sure that I acknowledge the people that support the platform. All right. It's been a good show today. Shout out to Umar Johnson. Woke up this morning and said, oh, we got an Umar sighting. Most of the stuff that come across my desk with Umar Johnson, 95% of it, 96, 97% of it, I just truly ignore it. I don't even look at it because I don't really care about most of that stuff. But when certain stuff is just big enough for me to cover, I just can't ignore it. Executive Suite Emily says, remember when Donald J. Trump met with the poverty pimps in Chicago during the first term and told them he would send a National Guard if they didn't stop the murders? He making good on that in term 2. Trump made lots of promises that he's solving for. Service USA says, hit the like button, folks. Shout out to the like button and the people that support the platform. All right. AD, are you going to do 5150? If it makes sense, yeah. If I can, because I want to fit it in. I know, shout out to Corey Holcomb and shout out to everybody over there. I watched the show. I watched Darlene. I think his name is Craig. I seen him going back and forth with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes. I like that. And of course, Corey Holcomb always do his thing. But I want to sit down in person. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do it on a live stream. I don't want them to patch me in. I don't want to try to get my audio together. I want to actually do it in person. So if and when I jump on 5150, then I will definitely be jumping on there in person. All right. So I'm going to try to make that happen within the next couple of weeks. Shout out to the boys and everybody over there at 5150. I think they put on a phenomenal show. All right. Let's get over into Perplexity. I'm going to just spend 10 minutes on this, and I want to talk about it real quick. So a lot of people may not necessarily be familiar with Perplexity, but Perplexity is offering $34.5 billion for Google Chrome. Now, a lot of people that are not familiar with the technology sector or stocks or everything like that, they may look at that number and they may say, you know what, that is a big number. But I don't really think y'all realize how valuable Chrome is, right? The question that we should be asking ourselves, and I can't wait to do Stock Club this weekend so that we can deep dive into what's really happening out in these streets. The questions that we should be asking ourselves is this, all right? Why? Why is a company that is valued at something like $18 billion? That is what Perplexity is valued at. Some people will say, well, how would they get the money to pay for it? It's called loans. It's called debt, all right? Why would a company like Perplexity make an unsolicited offer to Alphabet, who is the parent company of Google, who is the parent company of YouTube, who is the parent company of AdSense, who is the parent company of Google Chrome, who is the parent company of everything, right? Why would they make an unsolicited offer for Google Chrome, the browser? Well, if you've been following us over here at the Millionaire Morning Show, and we always talk about the money, especially towards the end of the show, because we got to get to the money, then you will know that Google, like every other company, but they have been facing headwinds a lot more significantly than other companies, have been facing antitrust issues. Antitrust issues from both over in the EU and possibly here inside of the United States of America. Because what regulators are trying to say is that Google is too big and they need to be broken up. And so they're saying that they're a monopoly, that they don't have any real competitors to compete with them. And so that they need to possibly, they are being sued and they are defending themselves vigorously because people are saying and regulators are saying that they need to possibly sell off different assets in order to make sure that they don't have a monopoly, which also makes them more competitive, makes the landscape more competitive. Now, I personally tend to believe that AI is really the thing. And I think that regulators and people that are filing these lawsuits, they always behind, they always way behind. But I think that the real play is that AI is evening the playing field. And actually, Google is playing catch up to ChatGPT and OpenAI, was the parent company of ChatGPT, especially with the new release of 5, right? So the real competitive landscape is AI. But the thing that generates the majority of the profits for Alphabet is AdSense. And a lot of that comes from Google Chrome as being the preferred browser of most people. They even pay Apple. They pay Apple, all right? A lot of people don't understand how that works. Well, in order for them to be the preferred search engine, then they pay Apple to, when people type into Safari and they start typing into their phone, they pay them billions every single year. They pay Apple to where when you type, look up this, look up that, well, that they are the preferred search engine that pops up in the phone and they are the preferred website. And so they pay Apple a lot of money because they generate a lot of money from AdSense. And so $34.5 billion, in my opinion, number one, as an unsolicited offer is super low. You're talking about a multi-trillion-dollar company. I think $34.5 billion is super low. But let's get into it. I am going to share my screen with you guys. And this is CNBC. Talking about the AI search arms race and Perplexity offering Google Chrome or offering to buy Google Chrome from Alphabet. And this is what they had to say.
The AI startup looks to make a breakthrough in web search. The $34.5 billion bid is nearly double Perplexity's own $18 billion valuation. It also puts Apple's AI strategy back in the spotlight, with earlier reports saying the iPhone maker explored an acquisition of Perplexity itself. For more on the potential deal, let's bring in Nilay Patel, editor-in-chief of The Verge and host of the Decoder podcast. Nilay, great to have you with us.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for having me.
So, how long?
Look how smart this guy is. Do you see what's happening? Are y'all paying attention? Somebody tell me what's happening on the screen right now. I know y'all can catch it because y'all smart and y'all much smarter than I am because I'm a C student. I know y'all can catch it because y'all smart and it's a C student. What are we looking at right now? Aaron L. Deep dive further. Deep dive further, Aaron L. Chasing TNs. I like that. You caught it. He's advertising himself. He's advertising. So if you notice, he's sitting way over to the left like this, or to the right. His left, our right. He's making sure he's sitting way over like this. And when he decided to jump on this, he made sure that he positioned his camera specifically to write decoder with Nilay Patel. Nilay Patel. He is advertising himself. It is very smart, but you can also see that it stands out that he's advertising himself because he's making sure that he's doing like this the whole time so that you can see the whole advertising. Very smart. I like that. He marketing himself. He's using the platform to get more visibility.
Long of a long shot, do you think this is?
Oh, this is a stunt. I mean, can we just be honest? It's a stunt. Google does not want to sell Chrome. They might be forced to sell Chrome at the end of a long legal process, which they are currently appealing. That legal process, the counterparty is the United States government, which is currently led by Donald Trump and the Department of Justice, led by Pam Bondi. And I think that administration would much rather use this lawsuit to force Google into concessions to make a deal than actually run the process to a divestiture of Chrome. I think Perplexity needs attention. They need to drive app installs. They need investor interest. Saying they're going to buy Chrome for slightly more than Google paid for Wix, which was their biggest acquisition, is an incredible stunt. Good for them. If they actually wanted to buy Chrome, they would do whatever other tech CEO is doing, and they would show up in the Oval Office with the gold bars and ask Donald Trump for a favor.
And he is 100% correct. No CEO in their right mind, you would be ousted immediately if you even considered something like this. No CEO, especially the one of a multi-trillion-dollar company. Let me see what Google's valuation is. Google's valuation, or Alphabet's valuation, their market capitalization is their market capitalization is that of $2.46 trillion. Basically, that is the amount that they are worth. $2.46 trillion. Trillion with a T, not a B. Trillion. 2.46 trillion. One of their greatest assets is Chrome. And they are being offered $34.5 billion for Chrome. So basically, what they're basically saying is, we want to get visibility. We want the vlogs to talk about us. We want CNBC to talk about us. They're trying to get more visibility for their product, which they are an AI company. And so for them to be able to get visibility for their AI products, so that maybe they can get acquired by Alphabet, or they can get bought, or that they can get more investors because they are a company. I don't believe that they're profitable at this point. And so they're trying to be a growth company and a growth stock. They decide to put this out there so that people can get our attention. I got the notification on my phone immediately as soon as the offer was made. I got to know, oh, Perplexity makes an offer of $34.5 billion for Google. I already knew what it was. I already know why they were offering it. Google will never sell it, even if they did for $34.5 billion. Get the hell out of here, bro.
So this is all just a PR stunt? I mean, that's all there is to it. What do they get out of this besides us talking about Perplexity? Does it make actually people go and use it?
There's an element of that for sure. Perplexity fashions itself as a competitor to Google search, right? They want to be an answer engine, and they need distribution. They need attention. They need people downloading the app. One of the most common stats I hear in the entire app business is that the average number of apps the average person downloads every single day is 0. So you need to drive attention. TikTok, which is a wonderful product that lots of people love, spent billions upon billions of dollars on Meta platforms to drive app installs. So if you want to compete with Google, you need distribution as wide as Google has in order to get the Google search box in front of people, or a search box in front of people. The two most powerful search boxes on the internet are in the Chrome browser and in the Safari browser on mobile, which is why Google pays to be the default there, and why Elon is threatening to sue Apple over the App Store rankings for Grok as opposed to ChatGPT. So the race to become the default search box for all of these AI models is on. Any amount of attention you can drive, any amount of pressure you can put on Google and its legal troubles is good for Perplexity.
Neely, the rumors about Apple Perplexity, it might have made sense a year ago when the thing was, at a $4 or $5 billion valuation, and maybe you paid like 8 or 9 or something like that. But at the end of the day, it's not something that would be integrated into the OS. I think that's something we could probably agree on right now. What sort of acquisition do you think Apple should make if they're trying to play a little catch up, in the AI race? Because again, there's not a company that's been particularly acquisitive. The last one was a bomb that was, I think, Beats for like $3 billion 10 years ago. ago. Thoughts on what Apple should do?
Yeah, Apple's issue with acquisitions is not identifying technology or having the capital to buy whatever it is they want. It is culture.
Let me answer a question right now because I like to. He has a profile picture, and so Kevin Williams wanted to get my attention, ladies and gentlemen, by being insulting. Anton Daniels is not entertaining the insulting part, and so he says coon. Not with a C, but with a Q, because he don't know that I took the censorship off of the Millionaire Morning Show, and so you can type anything that you want without ever being censored. Doesn't mean you can't be accountable for it, but you're not going to be censored by the algorithm or by the chat itself. It says, coon, faking knowledge again. Fang is 5 different companies. Google is just one of them. I think the other ones is like Meta, Microsoft, so on and so forth. But it's the 5 technology companies. The biggest 5 technology companies. But let's continue. He says, hence, it's not a multi-trillion-dollar company. Cool. Okay. So for the people in the chat, let's have a conversation and let's break this down. Because I love being called names by people that have profile photos. And I said that I would entertain more conversations from people with profile photos. So Google's market capitalization, all right, for the people that may not be familiar, is how many shares outstanding it has multiplied by the share price. That is where the valuation comes from. Google, I believe, is like top 5, at the very least, top 3, that 2.46 trillion market capitalization basically is how much the company is worth based off of. It's a very, very, very simple equation, y'all. This is not rocket science. This is not faking knowledge. You don't have to be a guru to understand this. This is not anything that I'm telling anybody that is mind-blowing. This is basic financial knowledge that a lot of people that's in the community, which is one of the reasons why I like to break it down from a C student's perspective. This is basic information, and this is how you evaluate what the market capitalization or what the valuation of the company is. So when they say, well, NVIDIA has now a $4 trillion market value, that is basically the amount of shares that they have outstanding with the value of the stock itself. So you multiply that together, right? That is what the valuation of the company is. Fang has nothing to do with the market value or the market capitalization or how much a company is worth at all. It being one of the top 5 technology companies that is controlling what is happening in the market, or that they evaluate as far as when the analysts make their call and they announce results at their quarterly meetings, has nothing to do with this conversation whatsoever. So, Kevin, thank you for your comment. If you want to have a conversation with me, or you want to say, Anton, I don't like what you're saying, or Anton, I think you're wrong on this, all you have to say is, Anton, I disagree with you, or Anton, that's not what it means. Believe it or not, I'm open and I love the chat. I like to talk to the chat. The chat is the co-host of the show. You don't have to call me out of my name. Did I call you out of your name, Kevin? I called you the name that you named yourself, and you have a profile picture, and I respect you. All right? This is an opportunity for us all to learn. If there's something that you can teach me that I'm not familiar with, sure, let's have it. Why do I have to be a cone faking knowledge? That's not nice, Kevin. That's not nice, Kevin. So, Kevin, listen, if you want attention, go talk to your girlfriend. Tell her, hey, listen, I'm a little pent up. I don't feel good right now. I'm feeling some type of way. And, I'm feeling like lashing out. Get that energy out some other way. But you don't have to call another person a cone because I'm having a conversation about what is happening in the market. We all in a good space. You know what I'm saying? All right, big dog. God bless you. God bless you. You didn't have to call me out of my name. I haven't done anything to anybody today. But for the audience, and thank you for the comment, Kevin, we're not going to time you out or block you or anything like that. Thank you for contributing into the platform and watching the show and subscribing. You are subscribed because in order for you to type that comment, you had to subscribe. The market value of a company is a basic equation. How much is the stock price multiplied by how many shares that they have outstanding? That is the valuation of the company. Make sure that you guys tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Tiege Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life.
Right. If you want to sell your company at Apple, you are going to end up as an Apple employee. The Beats acquisition is particularly funny because Jimmy Iovine, Dr. Dre, and Trent Reznor ended up as just some more Apple employees, and they were miserable and they left. And that's what happened with Beats. That is a pretty incredible thing to put upon Dr. Dre and Trent Reznor, by the way. You're just another Apple employee. If you buy Perplexity, you get a pretty Wild West startup culture, a pretty Wild West founder who's willing to do stunts like offering to buy Chrome for, which is not for sale. And that is not part of Apple's culture. I think what Apple is trying to say is, look, the capabilities of the frontier models are important for Apple Intelligence. We will put them in various places as we see fit. It is just more commodity technology to us. They've talked for a long time about how Google might be integrated alongside.
Molly, you said you need to learn more about tech. You don't know what's going on. Okay, so this is basically what's happening. All right, there's an AI arms race that's happening at the same time that Google is facing mounting pressure in order to sell off assets of the company, because the U.S. government is basically saying that Google has a monopoly. They don't have enough competition. So we want to force you to sell off different parts of your company so that we can make you more competitive and we can make you less powerful and less controlling of what's happening in the market, right? So people are anticipating the possibility of Google not winning an appeal, which is a years-long process, multi-years-long process. Good lawyers fighting back and forth with the federal government. So what's basically happening is Perplexity, which is a startup company, startup culture, all of that. They wanted more visibility. They want more app installs. They want more people to use their AI products and stuff like that. So they make this wild offer out there so that they can get more visibility and they get people to talking about it. And so, but Google has its own product. Google has its own AI product that they pushing out that I think is very, very good. Probably just as, if not second best to ChatGPT, which I love to use. And so the technology aspect of it is just the way that they generate revenue. They keep you in the ecosystem. They want to tie you in, and then that's how they generate revenue. That's how they sell advertising. That's all. And so it's not that complicated. It's just really lingo, it's jargon. It's the way that people talk to make it seem more complicated than it really is. But the biggest way that Google makes its money is off of advertising. It's off of AdSense revenue. And then they power everything else in order to try to be ahead of the curve. And stay ahead of the trends, and they try to be ahead of it. So they got to use money on research and development and developing new products, even if it's not profitable right now. So, but we talk about it. I actually used Perplexity before. You told me to use Gemini. I like Gemini. Shout out to Just a Brown Girl in America. Yeah, I'll try them all out. I try to use them all just to compare and contrast and see where things is at. I'm pretty sure that there's going to be some companies that gets bought out, swallowed up, all of that stuff. But we're going to talk about it in Stock Club. All right. Shout out to everybody that feels some type of way that subscribe to the channel. I appreciate y'all. Also, let me read this super chat. It says, Donnie says, Fawcett Media was on 5150 via video. Corey mentioned you. He want you on the show. All right, that's cool. But I want to pull up in person. That's cool. I'm with it. I'll go check it out. I'm about to go watch the live stream now. Brandon English says, hey, Anton, you should do a show on crypto. I could do it inside of the Patreon. Absolutely. 100%. I'll teach you and tell you all I learned and what my strategy is when it comes to crypto. Because I am now a crypto bro. I am now investing. Well, I've been investing in it for a while, but I had to do my research. It took me a while to really deep dive so that I actually got a little bit of coaching. Because I wanted somebody to truly explain it to me, not to just say invest it. I never invest in something that I don't understand fully. I got to fully understand it. I'm talking about all the way from the blockchain technology to how many coins. I think it's 21 million Bitcoin coins or crypto that is going to be mined totally. What happens after it's totally mined, the valuation of it, how do you use it, stable coins, everything like that. So I needed to understand how the federal government was going to embrace it, the Trump administration, all of that. And so now that I'm truly familiar with everything when it comes to, in a general sense, everything when it comes to cryptocurrency, that is when I started investing in it. And that's when I started allocating portions of my portfolio in it. All right. I'm sorry, AD, I'm sorry. But anyone who told you Robinhood was okay. What are you talking about on Robinhood? I don't use Robinhood. I don't use Robinhood. Who told you? Who said Robinhood? I didn't mention Robinhood. But anyway, Stock Club this weekend. We're going to get into it. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are the greatest audience on earth. And make sure y'all tap in and come kick it with me on Fresh and Fit tonight. It's going to be dope. All right. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.